one of the most famous and influential public schools in the world. Over 400 years old, steeped in history, synonymous with wealth and privilege. But what's it like to go there? Across a school year, we follow the boys of Westacre, one of Harrow's 12 boarding houses, to discover what it takes to make a modern-day Harrovian. Going to Harrow is to be adopted into an exclusive and very extended family.
Hello, how do you do?
A lot of success is based on who you know.
But what is it that makes them feel so attached to each other and the school?
I love Harrow!
Is it the unusual dress code? Or the unique sports no one else plays?
I don't really understand the rules.
Is it the endless competing for the honour of your house?
I'm pretty confident we won't come last.
Yeah.
Or is it simply living together for 5 whole years?
This is my private area. If you intrude without my permission, I will open...
Good shout, good shout.
Yeah, you can stay.
Is everything in order with the tie and everything? Don't want to be in trouble with Custos.
It's the first day back at school after the Christmas holidays, and the start of another busy term at Harrow is about to kick off with an assembly from the headmaster.
Morning.
In just his second year at the helm, Jim Hawkins is discovering that Harrow is more than just a school.
When you come here, you are becoming a part of something, unavoidably.
Hat on, please. Morning.
There is a greater sense of tradition and history than most schools, and that is powerful. You know, I'm always aware of that.
Happy New Year to you all. I hope you've had an excellent break. Many of you have public examinations during the next week or two. Sixth form, the best of luck with all of that. I hope those go well for you. Have a successful and fulfilling few weeks. I think this term, it's the real sort of guts of the year, really, where it's a lot of hard work. There's a bit of Harrow football out on some very muddy pitches, and quite a lot of exams going on. So there's a lot of graft the next few weeks, and it really is heads down and get on with it, really.
One boy who's really got to get his head down is sixth former Henry, who is retaking some of his A-level exams.
What are you doing?
You can't cut benefits. It's not a
Fam, you can. In terms of my academic work, that hasn't been so great over the last 2 years. But hopefully, I'm going to put out the bag and change all that in these exams.
Henry lives at Westacre, one of Harrow's 12 boarding houses.
Smith's in a bad mood.
Oh my god, shut up!
Smith's in a bad mood.
Hate you.
He's particularly keen to improve his grades in history and maths. And, as ever, best mate Ollie is eager to lend his support.
I'm gonna go. Please do. In fact, I might just stay for a bit longer. Please just leave and then get run over by a car.
It's good banter for the camera.
Shut up, Scamson.
So tell me about Henry.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's quite easy to make fun of, but he's a good guy. He takes it well, and he can dish it back out if he needs to.
Now recording.
We are now on our way to D17 to see Mr. Thompson, who didn't make my toast this morning. You can guess what's going to happen.
The challenge for Henry is to stay focused on revision and not get distracted.
You boy. Get on your bed.
That's my
Get on your bed.
My hat's on my bed.
Move your hat off your bed, boy. Say
run for it!
You little. You little. You little. There it is.
That's not it.
He's so good at disappearing.
You just ran past me.
Where to?
Henry is one of Westacre's music scholars, and in a bid to keep him focused on exams, his work is being closely monitored by housemaster Martin Smith.
There's so much to teach them and so little time. Come and sit down first. Now, what I've been trying to understand to get my head around, first of all, is the history was a -2.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty. Not many people that managed that.
Yeah, that
I was a
had
bit
a-
worried about that.
Yeah, obviously there's some disappointments
Yes.
there. And there was 2 pieces of work, one for him.
Henry's a busy boy outside the curriculum. He's a very committed musician. He likes to be involved in all the activities. But he's also very social, and one of those things has got to give, and I'm hoping that it's the being very social, perhaps just for a little while.
With encouragement from Martin, Henry agrees to prioritise revision and scale back his music commitments until after his exams. But the spring term is littered with potential distractions for Henry. This afternoon, it's Harrow football and the start of a new season.
Right, chaps, we're going to make a start. Could I say just to all the potential Harrow footballers, it's going to be very wet. It's going to be classic Harrow football weather, if you like.
This year, Martin has bestowed the coveted captaincy upon sixth former Oliver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe it was me.
Jesus.
Harrow football evolved here in the early 19th century from a game played by boys in the schoolyard.
We suck at Harrow football.
An eccentric forerunner of both rugby and soccer, it never caught on in quite the same way.
Okay, guys, let's kick the ball. Let's get some goals.
Boys are introduced to the mysteries of Harrow football in their first year at the school. It's part of the recipe for making a Harrovian.
Oh, Harrow football is a great game. I think the uniqueness of the game is where a lot of its appeal is at.
Good, follow it up. You're on, play on. It's played with a very large, heavy, non-spherical ball. It picks up the water and the mud and gets heavier as the game goes on. Well done, Westacre. That's good play. Well done.
Not everyone knows the rules fully.
I think there is some truth in the rule that there are no rules, just as long as you are gentlemanly about it.
The strangest rule is turning round, kicking it back to your player who can catch it.
And then you can shout yards, I think.
And then you do a kind of triple jump.
And you try and kick the ball through the opposition's what is called base.
Which is effectively like a goal. And yeah.
It's so unique, so bizarre. Well, if anybody came from Mars and saw people playing Harrow football, they might wonder what they'd come to.
The Harrow football season lasts only a few weeks, culminating on Founders' Day, when old boys return to take on the current sixth form in a nostalgic mudfest.
Founders' Day is a great occasion because, of course, without the old Harrovians, we wouldn't have a fixture list for Harrow football because, strangely, no one else plays it.
So how was that, Ollie?
Despite us losing, it was pretty fun. Yeah.
We didn't. I don't really understand the rules.
Harrow football is just one of the ties that bind Harrovians to the school, and Founders' Day will be one of many events this year that celebrates being part of the Harrow family.
Old Harrovians come back and the current boys really appreciate it. Just to see the sheer numbers. You know, why would they come back? You know, they're still interested in us. They're still interested in their school. And that all adds to the old Harrovian and school spirit.
It's just over 2 weeks into the spring term, when winter arrives. But while most Harrow boys enjoy the snow, Henry and Ollie are otherwise engaged.
How do you think that went?
It was okay.
I'm gonna definitely have to redo that. I thought it went pretty average.
I think hopefully I'll go in the 80s.
He may have finished his exams, but that doesn't mean Henry can relax. As one of their senior music scholars, Henry's supposed to be leading Westacre's entry in the term's most prestigious inter-house event, the annual orchestral competition.
It'll be good if we do well, and I can get some recognition for that, which will be nice. That's if we do well, obviously. If we do badly, it looks for me.
But having prioritised his revision, Henry's now behind schedule, with only a week to pick his team and prepare for the competition.
It's stressful because it's going to take a lot of rehearsing to do. But it's always bad when you think about letting the house down and you think, oh, it's going to be so embarrassing, and everyone's just going to be like, that was awful leadership.
You had total confidence in Henry, obviously.
Yeah.
This is Westacre, one of Harrow's 12 boarding houses.
I think we should go.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
This morning, the upper sixth have been invited to breakfast with the headmaster, Jim Hawkins, and his wife.
I really, really, really hope I'm right next to him.
This is our 4th term, so into our 2nd year. And part of the joy of this time in the job is that you're getting to know quite a lot of the boys. You know, there are obviously over 800 of them.
These breakfasts are just one of a number of innovations recently introduced by the headmaster.
I expect they'll be perhaps quite excited, a little bit nervous, and it's our job to put them at their ease. And it helps when the food arrives, so they can tuck into their bacon butties and croissants and enjoy themselves. Okay, boys, if you'll come in, and I'll tell you where you're sitting. Daniel, why don't you sit there? A lot of my job is about being respectful of what's happened in the past, not dismissing it, but at the same time bringing some fresh insight and energy. And I'm still trying to do that. Henry, why don't you pass around the plate of bacon butters this way? Yeah, great, excellent, thanks very much.
Breakfast with the boys isn't the most radical change introduced by the headmaster. He's also made fundamental alterations to the curriculum and, controversially, pulled Harrow out of government league tables.
The league tables are one-dimensional. It's just a statistic that tells you a little bit about a school, but it tells you nothing about the ability of the pupils to be a leader, how articulate they are, how confident they are. It says nothing about that. Okay, boys. Sorry to wrap things up. Great to see you all. Enjoy your lessons this morning. Okay. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So where are they to now, sir?
They're off to lessons, yeah. So they've got about 3 minutes to get there. I hope they're not late. It's bad news if the headmaster causes a whole load of boys to be in trouble with their masters. Another busy day at Harrow.
Westacre has a very musical reputation.
Whoa, just stop what you're doing.
What?
Stop what you're doing.
What?
And this term, music scholar Henry is leading their entry in the inter-house orchestral competition. But until today, preparations have been on hold because of his exams.
No, you need that.
Start of the week, it's Monday, the 28th, and the competition is in a week's time. Probably should have started rehearsing before, but I blame exams.
Everyone else blames Henry, but he blames
The piece Henry's chosen is Skyfall by Adele, and he's persuaded best mate Ollie to help him adapt it for musicians in the house.
Put it simply, he put himself forward and then didn't do any work on it for the next 3 weeks. So he's panicking now, not doing it to a mediocre level. It's not bad, but it would have been a hell of a lot better if we'd done it 3 weeks ago.
Could be genius.
It could be genius. We'll be there.
You're so annoying.
I was trying to compose, and I'm awful at composing. So that was the first step of the nightmare, which slowly developed.
Henry's immediate future may be a slowly developing nightmare, but as a member of the Harrow family, his long-term prospects are a lot brighter. Every January, old Harrovians from all walks of life willingly volunteer their time to give the younger generation a leg up on the career ladder. Old Harrovians like Adam Hart.
Hello, how do you do? Hi.
I'm Henry.
Hello, how do you do? So do you understand what corporate finance is?
Finance for corporations. Controversial, that's a bit controversial then.
I've attended that evening for many years now, and boys ask me some fairly in-depth questions. The first one normally is, so how much do you earn? I mean, they're brazen in their aspirations.
And if the boys need work experience, there's always an old Harrovian who's only too willing to help.
I usually give 2 separate weeks to Harrow boys during the summer.
There's a big community based around the old boys. I think that's one of the things that you do very much get out of Harrow that's quite a strong presence, is the connections and the contacts you get once you get out. And I think that's a real benefit.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You definitely had an advantage going to Harrow because of the huge network of people. Definitely very valuable work experience, which looks good, puts you above maybe other people that haven't got the opportunity, which can move you up higher in life. Because at the end of the day, a lot of success is based on who you know.
There is a natural network that grows up, a network of friendship, but also of opportunity. And it gives the boys something to look forward to and aspire to achieve. Certainly, what's really important is that also a number of the governors are old Harrovians. So I draw upon that knowledge regularly, and will often say to an old Harrovian governor, look, I'm thinking of doing this. You know, how do you think that would play among the old Harrovians? And it's fascinating and helpful to have that support.
Today is Henry's 18th birthday.
It's my 18th birthday. Happy birthday.
I know, he doesn't look, he looks 15.
Happy birthday to me.
And with just 6 days until the orchestral competition performance, Henry is finally organising Westacre's first rehearsal.
Are you free this afternoon? Like, how about 5?
His housemaster, Martin Smith, is not impressed with the delay.
5 o'clock? Yeah.
Henry would have had some exams in January, which partly explained why we started late. but it wore a bit thin after a while.
It's going to be a nightmare.
But he assured me it was all under control, which I wasn't entirely convinced of.
Henry's chosen 15 of Westacre's top musicians to make up what's known as a large ensemble. Tonight, he's focusing on the string section.
This is going to be long. Okay, bar assembly again, guys. A bit more in tune, please, Ali.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I've got the flat.
There's 3 flats, Ali.
Yeah, sorry.
What are you playing at?
So, first practice, how'd it go?
It was average, extremely average, very out of tune, and it just shows how much practice we've got to do in this week.
The string section, on the other hand, seem surprisingly confident.
We put in the practice, we'll be fine, I think. Yeah.
How long have you got to do all that?
3 weeks. 3 weeks, yes. Just under 3 weeks from now, yeah.
Is it 3 weeks? I thought it was...
True, is it 3 weeks?
Huh? Yeah.
I thought Large Ensemble is on this Monday.
Oh, gosh. A week left.
So can you do it, Chu?
Yes. No, honestly, I don't think we can.
No comment.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
This is Westacre, home to 66 boys, all determined to show that their house is better than the rest. Sixth form music scholar Henry is leading Westacre's entry in the inter-house orchestral competition, the term's biggest musical event, though he's left it rather late to start rehearsals.
I did only leave a week, so if I do fail, then it's on my hands. But obviously not going to fail.
Westacre is a famously musical house, and Henry's had no trouble recruiting 15 of the most talented musicians to his large ensemble. The piece he's chosen for them to play is Skyfall by Adele, and with just 48 hours till they perform it on stage, he's called the first full rehearsal. Well, full-ish.
So short on strings.
I was extremely stressed that last week, definitely.
It's so hot in here. Okay.
So I just thought, okay, we haven't got long left. We're just gonna have to use all the musicality we have, put it all together, and just try and produce something that's half decent.
Is that the right note? Is that the right note? Okay. Okay, one more time, and then we'll carry on, okay?
With frustration growing at Henry's style of leadership, he can at least count on support from best mate Ollie.
Just keep going, keep going. Ollie, just do your bit. Ollie, just go your bit. Ollie, do your bit. Ollie. Okay. Guys, shh.
There were lots of obstacles that we had to overcome.
Yeah, guys, you got to do that bit. It's not right. You're not playing it right, guys.
So yeah, it was a disaster after another.
Okay, guys, we've got like 1 minute. Guys, we've got 1 minute, so we're just gonna do all we've done so far. Okay? I mean, it isn't much.
But I quite enjoyed his frantic panic at the whole situation. That was quite amusing for me.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Louder, Annie. You've got the same rhythm as him. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, call it a day. Call it a day.
That was the biggest waste of time I've ever...
Well done.
After just 20 minutes practice, Henry is forced to call a halt to the rehearsal as the room has been booked by rival house Newlands.
It wasn't so bad for a first rehearsal, really.
I thought it went...
It's quite scary.
It's quite scary.
Deep breaths.
I think we can do it, but I think we need to work harder than how we did in that rehearsal.
Sounds
a little bit like Sky.
Okay, that bit does. Let's have a little listen.
So you think you might be doing the same song as another house?
Yeah. Any last questions? Because I've got to go.
Definitely Skyfall.
It's definitely Skyfall.
It's a really bad version.
It doesn't matter though, it's Newlands, so...
We're going to get beaten by Newlands playing the same song.
If we get beaten by Newlands, I'll kill myself.
Yeah, they're really good.
But that's obviously not going to happen. It's Newlands.
Nice job choosing the piece.
Well, onwards and upwards, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can only go onwards.
It can only go upwards, or just stay the same, in which case we'd be screwed.
Hopefully not. Let's go, boys.
With Westacre's musical reputation, being beaten by a sporty house like Newlands would be a humiliating end to Henry's school career. And he only has 2 days left to sort it out. Unfortunately, one of them is taken up with Founders Day, when old boys return to their houses to play the current sixth form at Harrow football.
Founders Day is Old Boys Day. Old boys come back and they're going to show their past glory, and that the present upper six, whoever they might be in any one year, well, mere weaklings, you know. Right, clothes. I'm just going to get changed.
As housemaster, it falls to Martin to umpire Westacre's grudge match.
Tara, have you hidden my tracksuit? Ah, here it is. Although they come back to Harrow generally, they come back particularly to their house, I think. And that makes for a nice atmosphere. So it's both a sporting event and a social event.
Adrian. Hi guys, Phil.
For headmaster Jim Hawkins, it's a significant day in the school calendar.
Founders Day is another example of thinking about the past and going right back to the day when, you know, a wealthy man helped set up the school, and from very small beginnings, you know, just a few pupils in this room, it's grown to the Harrow of today, and it's worth recalling that from time to time. What has become the real focus of the day has been the sporting activity, in particular the Harrow football, which is a real draw for the old Harrovians.
From all 12 houses, Harrovians old and new prepare for battle on specially muddied pitches.
These are perfect conditions for Harrow football, so this is ideal.
Right, are we ready?
Some would say it's like a really bad game of English soccer. You know, heads down, charge after the ball, and a great pack of people. It's not the beautiful game, but it's a lot of fun. You're a bit of a target if you're the headmaster, I think, so potentially.
I can't run with it.
In Westacre's match, the youngsters are comfortably beating their older counterparts.
OK, half-time, chaps, half-time. Score is 3-0 to the house.
You do see some interesting sights on the Harrow football field.
Apparently the Morton Old Boys are occasionally forming a turtle.
Yes.
Which was been illegal since 1961, Mr. Berry.
Only 1961.
Yeah.
As headmaster, I feel like a steward of something that's much bigger than me, because it is.
The old Morton's boys were doing a turtle on the pitch, you know, where they all jump on the ball and sort of. Apparently, it's been illegal for about 50 years.
When one speaks to old Harrovians, often there are mixed emotions. Nostalgia, the great times, remembering perhaps the difficult times and the challenges.
Apparently the turtle has been illegal since 1961. You know, one of
I think the reality is for OHs that, of course, the house was the place which is most significant for them.
I'm Adam Hart, I'm an old boy. Would it be all right if I come in and have a look around?
Yes, of course, how do you do?
How do you
When
do?
were you here, Mr. Hart?
I arrived in the late 70s, so
Right.
a long time ago.
I suppose it's a human trait, isn't it? The further you get away from it, the more you remember the fond memories. And the rose-coloured spectacles become more predominant the older we get.
It's almost a different place. Totally different.
Adam Hart is a former Westacrian,
This is so alien to me.
and he hasn't been back to his old house for over 30 years.
You'll get old boys who come back to see their name on the house board. It's a sort of equivalent of "I was here!" exclamation mark.
Here we go, Hart. There's me.
Life at a boarding school like Harrow was very different in the 1970s, with the younger boys at the beck and call of the older monitors, a practice known as fagging.
It was changing in my day, but there was still fagging. If you heard three boys, boy, 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 all of the fags in the pool had to run to the monitor that was giving the boy call. And of course, if you had a lot of other junior boys in your area, it was a scrum to get through it, to get up there. So you'd be constantly pulling at each other's clothes in order to get ahead of them. And so it created quite a sort of aggressive environment. Well, that's neat. Goodness, look at that. Significantly
really?
smaller than I am today.
Back then, the housemaster would stay on the private side, the senior boys would run the house. So when you speak to an old boy, you know, there may often be a tear in the eye or memories of real challenges that they had to work through. But Harrow's got under their skin.
The matches where the house was only just winning seem to have ended early.
Westacre's current crop romp to a 5-3 victory, and another Founders' Day draws to its traditional close, led by Henry.
If you feel that someone hasn't got muddy enough, pick them up, put them in the mud. That just leads to a lot of immaturity as well.
For the headmaster and the old boys, the day's been an enjoyable gathering of the Harrow clan.
Nothing less than the best, really. What can I say?
For Henry, it's been another day without a rehearsal for his large ensemble, leaving him just 24 hours till the orchestral competition.
People were just saying that we were just going to do terribly, that we weren't going to win. I left it too late, and they didn't think I was up for the job.
Day of the house ensemble competition, and just trying to get a last-minute rehearsal in speech room because we weren't able to do it on Sunday due to Harrow football. So I'm hoping there's not going to be anyone in there. No. It's locked. Ah. It's really annoying. Everything's locked. That's really annoying. That's annoying.
With just 6 hours till their performance, Henry and his large ensemble still haven't played their piece all the way through.
There was definitely a feeling of angst that we wouldn't get it out in time, that it would be a complete embarrassment.
And how was Henry coping with all this?
He wasn't.
By the right. Quick march. Left, right, left, right, left, right.
It's nearly halfway through the spring term, and the cadet force at Westacre boarding house is being put through its paces.
That's not a bad turn there.
Housemaster Martin Smith is impressed.
That seems rather better rehearsed than a large ensemble. It's rather more coordinated.
Can you send people to go down music schools?
By the time we get down there, we'll have like 20 minutes till left.
Westacre's large ensemble is being led by Henry from the upper sixth. And with just 4 hours remaining until their performance, they still haven't played their piece all the way through.
It was crazy. It was a crazy situation. I'm pretty sure I received a very, very little amount of support. Probably most was from my mum, really. And Ollie, amongst others, doubted me a lot. He enjoyed the fact that I was suffering under all the pressure.
Having failed to book a room for their final practice session, Henry has sneaked his ensemble into music schools for a last-minute rehearsal.
Tarquin!
In terms of my mindset, obviously I played a cool exterior.
Tarquin! Have you got your piece with you? There.
Smack him in the face. Even with my cool exterior, people still weren't confident about what was happening.
We're going to play the last note, and we've got to get quieter, guys, okay? Ready?
I think I probably played it the other way and played it as if it was a complete disaster, sort of to counter his acting cool. What? You just going like that, it doesn't help us know when to stop. Maybe you stop playing a bit earlier and then go like that.
I had to convince myself that it was going to work out for the best in the end. But I just had to try and block out all that negative press going towards me and just try and play a cool exterior.
The final rehearsal draws to a close after only 10 minutes. Henry may be playing it cool, but his ensemble are anything but.
We still haven't played it all the way through all together. Yeah. I think it would be amazing if we got placed, probably unbelievably so. But I'm pretty confident we won't come last.
Yeah.
If Henry's lack of organisation does let the house down, it'll be a very public humiliation. In front of boys, beaks, and even the headmaster.
I get to all of the major school events that I possibly can. Obviously, as headmaster, my primary roles relate to leadership and management of the school, oversight of what the school is doing. But innovation and doing different things in some ways is more challenging at a place which is so conscious of its history. You don't really have a free rein. On the other hand, because of the success of the school, that means you can do things that perhaps other places cannot.
One of the things the school's been able to achieve on the back of its success is to extend the Harrow family by launching sister schools in Hong Kong, Singapore and Beijing. This evening, their respective heads are visiting the ancestral home.
One of the exciting aspects of the Harrow family is the fact that we have these schools in the great cities of the world, places that have their own identity and their own character. But how much more exciting to do your work experience in an office in Beijing or Bangkok than perhaps a tube ride into London.
In a global economy, a global network of Harrovians is another potential benefit for the boys.
I've got a relatively fleeting moment, a few years of influence, of stewardship, and steering the school a little one way or another in order to do the best job for the boys.
Henry, on the other hand, is keen to do his best for the house.
We've got to look professional. We want to be the best we can.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count.
We just needed to think that we could do it and not think, okay, we've only had a couple of practices, this is going to be a horrible failure.
There is the danger that it will come off the rails. But I think I got to the point where Henry said it was all right, and I said, well, you're the one going on stage.
I'm sure Smith doubted me as much as everyone else did, because no one thought we were going to do well.
All 12 houses are taking part, but the icing on Henry's humiliation cake would be defeat by rival and notoriously unmusical house, Newlands, who are playing their own version of Skyfall. The only good news for Henry is that his ensemble, made up of West Acre's top musicians, don't seem all that worried about the Newlands threat. For Henry and his large ensemble, the moment of truth has arrived.
Let's do this, boys, for the acre.
But with only a handful of rehearsals behind them, it may well be a moment Henry will want to forget.
I felt sorry for my players, and we never actually got through the piece fully until the actual night. But on the stage, I was thinking it could go either way.
Everyone was kind of worried that it wouldn't go to plan or something would mess up. There's a sense of, we've done all we can, let's try and pull this off as best we can.
When we got through it, I was happy because it was the best we'd played it, because we'd made it through for the first time.
Stop it.
I'm just being affectionate.
I come up with you and hold your hand. What with Ollie the adjudicator Woodcock? Stop it. It's like you're 5.
With the performances out of the way and the trophies ready to be presented, the judges prepare to announce their decision.
Good evening. Really impressed this evening by the overall standard. You've made my life and job this evening very, very challenging indeed. In a joint third place, sort of inseparable, were Morton's and Rendell's. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Second place and a lovely shield goes to Westacre.
Yes. When you said Westacre second place, I was over the moon. Probably because I was so shocked and so shocked that we'd beaten other houses who had been practicing for weeks on end.
We actually won. We got a thing. We got a thing.
It's all for the house, all for that. Everyone was as shocked as I was. They all had to take back their comments and just deal with the fact that we won. Well, one came second. In my eyes, it was a win, definitely.
So let's get the first one out. It's a tricky bit, isn't it? They're very easy after that, yes. Now, nobody's allowed to have more slices of pizza than rehearsals arranged by Henry Smith. You've already exceeded it, have you? They are last-minute merchants, generally. I would have been calmer, I think, had we started earlier, but never mind. He was right and I was wrong, not for the first time. I just want to say thank you very much to all of you for rehearsing and working so hard, as the adjudicator said.
So much rehearsing.
Hard. So much rehearsing, yes. As I said to Henry at lunchtime, I'm suing him for emotional distress to the housemaster because I've been fretting about this for weeks, and Henry has always said it'll be fine on the night. What are you worrying about, you know? And of course it was fine on the night. It was fantastic on the night. Well done indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It just felt so good that I hadn't let the house down. I kind of had the best of both worlds, really. Not having to do too much practice and still winning.
Easy peasy.
It's the spring term, and the boys of Westacre are on the offensive.
The command to fire will be given from my rifle firing the first shot, OK? From that point, we're going to start killing.
But the real military operation is behind the scenes at Harrow, where the needs of 820 pupils are served by an army of 500 staff.
I've never felt that I am here as a servant or as a skivvy.
The boys from upstairs get a taste of downstairs life.
Why does it smell so bad?
And they find out that giving orders can sometimes be harder than following them.
Scored! Done!
Go ahead. I've got roast chicken on the brain. Do you think that's on the menu? I can just see roast chicken. That's all I can see at the moment.
It's early March and a little after 6 o'clock in the morning at Westacre, one of Harrow School's 12 boarding houses. Housemaster Martin Smith is just one of the army of 500 staff whose job it is to look after the school's 820 boys.
We usually go out about 5:30. Tara and I go for a walk about 5:30, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we set to work. We've got the newspapers to put out when they arrive. Yes, all right, I did promise you a sausage, didn't I? In a minute. We're going to do that in a minute. Yes, all right, let's go and get a sausage, and then we're going to get breakfast. Come on, let's come and have breakfast with me.
Martin's busy day starts well before any of Westacre's 66 boys are even awake. The next person to stir, over an hour later, is upper sixth former Ollie. On this chilly morning, Ollie must report to the school custodian, known as Custos. It's a punishment given to him by one of his beaks, and he's not very happy about it.
Got Custos, 4th day, 3 more days to go, and it's really cold, depressing. It's not a good time.
Has this happened to you before?
Yes, a lot.
We have to remember, of course, they are teenagers, and therefore the enthusiasm for getting up early in the morning or up to time in the morning is not as great as it might be. I think whatever time was the official time for getting up, it wouldn't matter what time it was, it would be too early for some.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. Thorne. How are you today?
Good, sir.
Good man.
Custos is in the front line of a battalion of Harrow support staff who keep the school running smoothly.
Custos has a number of roles in the school. He runs the cleaning staff across the school buildings, but his most high-profile occupation is, as far as the boys are concerned, is keeping them up to scratch in terms of appearance.
A couple of hours later, at morning break, Custos heads out on uniform patrol.
Come on, let's have a look at it. And you. Come here, General. Come here. Look at the state of that. Yeah, you do, look. Look, there's woodpeckers about, you know that, don't you? They'll have your head. Come here a second. Oh, I don't expect this from you, OK? Well, I'm just sort of inspecting them from top to bottom, really. First thing, have they got the hat on? Is it in good repair? And then just work their way down. Is their blower smart? Is the top button done up? Need you put your hats on, gentlemen, before you pass me? Spotted you 3 miles away. Where's your hat? Get some polish on these shoes, shall we? Come on. When they get up in the morning, I don't think they realise there's a mirror in the bedroom. I think they get dressed in the dark, half of them. I've already told you about that hat, haven't I? Put your hats on, gentlemen. You can do with a bit of polish on your shoes there. You pull your trousers up there, General, like a gunslinger. Right up. I think it's probably my military background, 23 years in the Welsh Guards and being inspected every day, and then as I got senior in my rank, you know, inspecting other people, I think it just comes naturally to just check them over as soon as they come past. I'll have him for a dirty boot.
It isn't just Custos who has an army background. Harrow has a long association with the armed forces.
I think the school has always had quite a strong military connection. And of course that goes back a long way. It goes back to the fact that we have a very large war memorial building commemorating people who went out largely from the end of their school days into the trenches and so forth in the First World War.
Right, turn!
Done! 100 years on from the First World War, Harrow still provides a regular supply of officers to the armed forces. And more than half the boys at the school choose to join Harrow's Combined Cadet Force, or CCF.
It was actually formed in 1859. It's the oldest CCF in the country, and it's now the largest as well. So we're up in excess of 570 cadets at the moment.
Stevens! Wan! Foxon! Both!
One of those 570 cadets is West Acrean sixth former Hugh, who is head of Harrow's CCF Army Division.
You're on bashers, go to bashers. You're on bashers, go to bashers. You two, you're on bashers, right? Good stuff. Bashers!
My position as head of army effectively means I just have to coordinate all the lower sixth army NCOs and make sure that they've all got jobs for the day.
No, it's too many on bashers, I found out. I misjudged. Follow that group to weapons.
I do enjoy sort of the whole sort of teaching and instructing, and it is a massive frustration sort of trying to get a message across and watching it, but in the end it's worth it when they just click, because effectively you're just trying to turn them into you.
Today, Hugh is leading a team of CCF cadets on an enemy ambush simulation on school grounds.
Do you have any qualms about 15-year-olds pretending to shoot each other and that sort of thing?
No, I don't think I'm concerned that people are undertaking, shall we say, weapons training and so forth. It's a very controlled environment.
Left cut-off, killing group, right cut-off. You're going to march in this order.
The only downside to a military approach is if you start from being a pacifist totally. I can see that that would probably be unacceptable.
The command to fire will be given from my rifle firing the first shot, okay? From that point, we're going to start killing.
As Hugh's squad prepare for battle, the enemy, led by his best friend and fellow West Acrean Tom, move out.
Oh no, where have I gone? Field day is primarily to show the boys how a proper combat situation works, in the sense with the ambush that we did. Hobbs took his group and showed them how to set up an ambush.
Guys, be quiet, the enemy is in the area. Quiet. Be quiet.
And I took the enemy to put what they'd learnt into perspective.
Need to have performed an NSP. Reset it for you. No. Idiot.
Those guns are, of course, loaded with blank cartridges. So the worst that can happen today is that someone catches a chill.
You'll fire your last man, face that way, lie down.
I remember being quite mean to people, making them lie down in puddles. It's an experience you've got to have in the CCF, just being made to sort of push through it, just lie down in the rain and do what you're told.
Yeah, it's great. It's so cold. I have my phone in my pocket. We didn't sign up for this. No.
I'm glad that they all had a chance to do that, I think. It sounds a bit sadistic now.
With Tom's enemy group in their sights, Commander Hugh can start the killing.
I died literally in like a puddle. That sucked.
It was certainly enjoyable. Yeah, it was good fun.
Fall back! Up you get, King Group, let's go.
But life in the CCF isn't all action and ambushes. There's also a lot of marching. In a few weeks' time, Harrow's 12 houses will compete against each other in the annual drill squad competition. It's not an event Westacre has traditionally done well in.
I think Westacre have never particularly excelled at the whole competition. There have been times in recent years where the actual drill, the marching, has gone quite well. And we've actually let down by our appearance, which counts for points.
Squad! Squad, shun!
Westacre's entry will be led by Hugh, who's hoping to turn their fortunes around.
Right, turn! Other right, face that way.
Determined to put together a crack squad, he's summoned all Year 10s or removes to the five-a-side pitch behind the house.
Okay, you can't walk in time, can you?
Nope.
Okay, you're done, go. Do you want to stick around? I'm not going to put you in at all, so you're done as well. Rest of you focus on me. Okay, Taylor, go there.
Drill squad is mostly it's hard work, leadership and threats.
Take your hands out of your pockets, you slob.
But you have to do it, it's a house thing, it's important to the house, and you feel a sense of house pride, perhaps.
All the way up. All the way up? Good stuff, well done.
Hugh needs to find enough boys to complete his drill squad lineup. Fortunately, best friends Giles and Rory are showing some potential.
You got to stay in line with me, yeah. That's good, okay. Actually, I kind of like you two, you're all right. Stay there, face that way and be quiet.
Is it something you wanted to do?
Not really.
Abel, turn! Who didn't turn to the right? Which way are you going to turn next time? Good.
And Rory and Giles are not the only unwilling conscripts.
No, actually, I didn't want to do it. No, I didn't. I really didn't want to do it. But, you know, I don't know. There are a few things that sometimes I just don't want to do, but happen to be good at those things. For example, rugby. And drill squad happens to be one of those things as well. You know, happen to be good at it, but just don't want to do it.
So, with just a few weeks to go until the competition, it looks like Hugh is going to have his work cut out.
Have fun. Well done, guys.
Good job.
Bye-bye, Hugh.
Bye-bye.
Do you want another sausage roll?
That's an excellent idea, yes.
Have you finished your sausage roll?
Oh, yes. Don't mess about.
It's gone.
It's gone. We're going to find you breakfast. Come on.
It's early on a chilly morning in March at Westacre, one of Harrow's 12 boarding houses.
All right, it's breakfast time.
For housemaster Martin Smith, it's the start of another busy day.
I used to like breakfast, but now I have to have this wretched, grainy stuff. Miserable. Life used to be fun. Yes, we have to get some milk, don't we? Yeah, we have to get some milk. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, you can have your sausage in a minute.
As well as looking after 66 teenage boys in the house, Martin is also expected to teach economics.
This is the financial world this morning, and given that I teach economics... Yes, all right. That's for you.
This is the calm before the storm.
The number of hours worked in a week were very difficult to calculate, I think. I don't think we necessarily conform to the European Union directive in terms of time, but I'm not an expert on that. Can you see that from there?
Martin is one of 100 teachers or beaks at Harrow. With an average class size of 16, that's one beak for every 8 boys.
It used to be known in North America as the triple whammy. In other words, you teach, you're associated with the house pastorally, and you do something extracurricular. And that, broadly speaking, is the expectation here.
The pressures of being a beak at Harrow can come as quite a shock to new recruits.
So that is the work he missed, which he needs to finish and get back to me.
One of Harrow's youngest beaks, 26-year-old James Poole, is an assistant housemaster and runs a host of extracurricular activities, as well as teaching history.
Good morning, all. I know Simon Hungin is... I didn't go to bed before 1 o'clock in the morning for the whole first half of this term because I was working and marking and organising fixtures and, you know, organising Model United Nations trips and writing letters to parents and whatever it might be, and also trying to have a life at the same time. The boys I don't think, recognise the amount of time and effort that goes into these things. So if we think about actually, we can see some similarities between the Nazi education syllabus and Harrow life, particularly the importance of singing and sport. But obviously
Pupils at Harrow can be uniquely demanding. But as an old Harrovian himself, this boy turned beak at least knew what to expect from his charges.
I think some beaks, when they come into the school, do find it a bit challenging. There is discernible Harrovian psyche. It's what has been termed in the past as arrogance. Not something that the school prides itself on, but actually it's not arrogance. I think most boys here are possessed of an important self-confidence. Harrow is a school of 830 barristers, basically. Every boy knows everything and knows better about everything. And pack up your books, we'll carry on with this tomorrow and then there's wrap breakfast there. Have a very good afternoon.
Turn to the left. Left, turn.
It's early March at Harrow School, and this afternoon upper sixth former Hugh is taking Westacre's drill squad conscripts through their paces on the 5-a-side pitch behind the house.
1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1.
In just a couple of weeks' time, Westacre will be competing against Harrow's other 11 boarding houses in the inter-house drill competition.
Justin, nice legs. Nice legs, Justin.
Drill is, to some extent, an important way of teaching order and structure and coordination. I mean, just being able to walk in time with people, it sort of, to an extent, creates a bond.
See you guys.
Next rehearsal will be Tuesday at 1:25.
As with every other inter-house competition at Harrow, there's a lot of pride at stake.
There are other houses that take it extremely seriously.
There are other houses that shave their heads for
Yeah,
it.
they probably went army, buzz cut and all that kind of stuff. But
I don't think we can ask Thorne to shave his locks.
No.
This evening, after bill or registration, Busy Hugh must measure the drill squad for their uniforms, with the help of matron Kate Bain.
Okay. And just waist, 91. 91.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff.
81.
81. Thank you, matron. I had to get everybody measured. I had to get some people measured twice. I then had to get boots, berets, cap badges, rank slides, shirts, trousers.
82. Excellent, thank you.
Got long legs, this year. Who's next? Where's Casey?
Presentation is a key part of the drill competition.
There's a whole sort of grading system within the competition on just kit, and so I thought, well, we're not going down on uniform. Surely that's the easy part. The marching is the difficult bit. Yeah. Casey, if we don't have a 65, we might have to get you to cut some hair so that we can get it in. Casey's wonderful. He's just a wall of muscle, and trying to judge how big he is was difficult. 104. Okay, you're good to go.
Is this in centimeters?
Yes. Not inches, don't worry.
I actually like the fact that I have a large head, you know, because if it was smaller than this, then it would be a little bit out of proportion with the rest of my body, but a little bigger, still out of proportion. But yeah, it's just a good size.
Keeping a boarding school the size of Harrow running is, by necessity, something of a military operation.
Liz, I'm going to get that pasta, yeah? Oh, bedlam, bedlam.
7 days a week during term time, the school kitchens produce breakfast, lunch and dinner for 820 boys plus support staff. Around 3,000 meals a day are served in the school's dining hall, the Shepherd Churchill.
The Shepherd Churchill is the centre of the school as far as I'm concerned. 1 o'clock lunchtime, this is my favourite time the whole day. I tell the staff that who are serving. I said, this is the high point of my day. They must think I have a very sad day.
Oh, I need a sherry.
My favourite school dinner is probably pork schnitzel.
Yeah, probably cheeseburgers.
Pizza and chips.
The chips are really good.
Chocolate sponge pudding with chocolate custard. Oh. Chocolate dessert, my favourite, yes. Everything I shouldn't eat.
Some people go for seconds or thirds. I like to go for fourths. I like the food.
Yes, I think the dining hall know they've got Casey.
Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. Miss Ping.
This lunchtime, the boys have a choice between turkey escallops and tiger prawns. But preparation for this meal started more than 24 hours ago.
Tomorrow's menu is going to be the penne, turkey scallops, and there's also a tiger prawn dish. It's crazy right now. It may not seem that way, but it is.
It's a huge operation to feed so many people over a short period of time because the lunch for that number of people is quite swift. Perhaps we don't spare enough time for thinking about all the preparation that's gone in beforehand.
In an average week, the school's 55 catering staff crack 2,500 eggs, chop up 420 kilos of onions, and peel 1,000 kilos of potatoes.
Quick, 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 quick. Come on, people. Let's move, let's move, let's move. When you think about it, you know, all this work, but within 45 minutes, it's all gone. It's all 45 minutes or less. The boys have eaten and left the dining room. And yet it's taken us 8 hours to prepare for that one meal.
Only a few hundred more to go.
I'm not whinge more than women, honestly. They're only here for what, 5 years? And they're important years. So, you know, by the time they go to university where they're going to have to be cooking for themselves. Oh yes, please remember this. When you're at university, you're going to have to do this by yourself.
So would you guys send your kids here?
No. If I could afford it.
I can cook some bacon. I'm probably more of a morning person, you know. I don't do fancy meals. I try and help out at home whenever I can. Actually, no, I don't. That's a lie.
Line the right. Quick march. Left, right, left.
It's a Tuesday afternoon in March at Westacre boarding house, and sixth former Hugh is rushing to get his squad in shape for the preliminary round of the inter-house drill competition.
No, this is bad. Squad, halt, check, 1, 2. Okay, if you can't manage it, I don't quite know what you're doing here. You need to learn to do this, okay?
I'm sure the commentator will say, with only 24 hours to go, Hugh is going crazy.
Guys, listen up. As you go down the line, it is your responsibility to be in line with the man next to you, okay? Rory, you're at the end because you're the most incompetent and you find this difficult.
We had this wonderful moment where I thought we were doing everything right, and then it fell apart for some reason, which was a bit frustrating.
You're all too far forward, Casey's too far back. Quilter is making up his own moves.
It is quite complicated, especially because you've got to get all the timing perfect and you're sort of doing opposite actions with each side of your body.
You can do the moves, you can turn, you can do the abouts, you can do the salutes, you can do all of that. It's fantastic. You just can't do the fundamentals like walk.
Well, it's actually really, really hard.
I will kick you out and replace you with Bird if you can't march in time, okay?
Please do that.
What do you think of Hugh's management style?
It was,
this is a whole can of worms, but we'll deal with that, okay?
It was a little bit wavy.
Cadet, A-bow, turn! Do it right next time.
Well, I try not to be wound up easily sometimes, because dangerous things could happen.
Guys, listen in. KC, hurry up.
Should we have team huddle?
No, this is close enough. You guys really need to focus on being able to march in time with the person next to you above all else. Once you've got that, we'll be sorted at least with you three, okay? I can work on other problems, but you guys need to just meet me here, okay?
Sure.
Good, get this right. See you later.
So presumably you're not contemplating a career in the army then?
No. No.
Undaunted by his squad's lack of basic motor skills, Hugh has taken delivery of the kit.
No, everyone got measured and everyone should have the right size kit. We do have some spare stuff if needs be, but I'm reasonably confident that everyone's kit will fit. Try that one.
Everyone, that is, except KC, who's gone to see Major Robson in the armoury in search of a beret big enough to fit him.
No.
Nowhere near.
No, nowhere near.
It turns out that KC's head is definitely a non-regulation size.
Anything else?
Yeah, I was told to get boots as well. Size 12.
Honestly.
For KC, this particular cloud could have a silver lining. Without a beret, he can't take part in the drill competition. At Westacre, Tuesday night is laundry night, and 66 boys generate a lot of dirty washing.
Thank you.
This is one of the least enviable tasks in the house, and it falls to Martin's trusty lieutenant, Matron Kate Bain.
It's a good job that you can't smell it really, because sometimes we really have to open up the doors up the stairs. It can be foul. It's vile.
This evening, she's recruited cadets Rory and Giles to share in the smelly experience of sorting the dirty washing into the right bags.
Look, there are gaps here. Come on, you can do it tighter though. Pull it together.
I couldn't tie my shoelaces until I was 7. I had Velcro shoes.
You can do this.
Sweaty shirts, dirty trousers. It's not nice. It's not a nice story.
Sorry? The underpants bag tends to be the bag that everyone tries to avoid when they're on duty. So if it has to be done up, someone will go, oh no, I've just got to go check this out, or this bag looks like it's getting full.
Walk in a crocodile.
In a crocodile?
In a who?
Yeah.
What's all these new techniques? Think of it as a snake.
But that's not a crocodile.
I know.
Thank you, Hugh.
And do you have any idea what happens to it after you've bagged it up?
I don't really want to know, to be honest.
Oh man, you're such a poser.
I am.
cannonballs in it this week.
Early the next morning, before most of the boys are even awake, housemaster Martin Smith is helping to load 20 bags full of dirty washing into the laundry van.
During the earlier part of the year, I tended to have two older boys doing it, two older boys who had volunteered their services for things that they'd done, crimes against the state earlier on in the term. But unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, the older boys have been so well behaved that I've had to do it myself.
Maria Davis and her team of 7 helpers run the school's own laundry.
Today we'll probably do about 3,000 shirts, and couldn't tell you how much of the clothing we have at the time, but we wash about 86,000 garments a week. So quite a considerable amount of laundry.
Almost 6,000 white shirts are laundered here each week, and every single one is ironed and folded by hand.
We have lots of male anatomy drawn on shirts every now and then, which can be quite amusing. We always know when it's exam time, because tail shirts and cuffs normally have answers on them. But we never tell. We never kiss and tell. I've never felt that I am here as a servant or as a skivvy. I don't, you know. I mean, we all have a job to do, and we're all a big cog that makes this school work, whether you're academic or you're support staff. We do get some boys that have been on Custos Parade, that have been naughty, that will come and work here as a punishment. For one, they're a great help to us. But they have to have life skills as well. You can't just educate them well. They have to know how to be able to look after themselves in the real world, because this isn't the real world, this is Harrow School. They've got to step out of here at the age of 18.
Time for a cup of tea?
It is, I think. Good idea.
While Maria and her staff are having a well-earned cup of tea,
may I have your leave to carry on, please, sir?
Commander Hugh is putting in some last-minute preparations for the preliminary round of the drill squad competition.
It's not the final round, so it's not massive pressure, but it'd be very embarrassing if we didn't qualify. And because it all kind of relies on me, there's a lot of pressure on me to get everything right. And I'm kind of at the stage where I don't quite trust myself still to get everything perfect. So I'm going through everything and double checking that I've got it all memorized.
Left turn. There's testimony from the house play. I am not good at remembering lines. I'm terrible at it.
You better take this and just check it, get everything right.
An hour later, on the way to the parade ground, there's just time for one last run-through.
Squad will, when they get past me, squad will retire, right, turn.
All Hugh has to do now is remember those commands.
The right. Okay. Well, we got some wise words from our brave leader. I think we've got faith. I think we guys can we can qualify. I've been practicing. I think I can get us through this. Let's do our best, okay? Okay, guys, this is it.
As KC is lacking the appropriate headgear, he's been demoted to the subs bench for the rest of the competition.
Right, turn! By the right. Quick march!
For Hugh, getting through to the final is crucial for house pride. If Westacre don't put on a decent performance today, then the unthinkable could happen. The house could be out of the competition.
Salute. Left turn! In open order, right dress! Eyes front!
Westacre House is... Oh. Westacre House, yeah.
Everyone was sort of a bit nervous, preliminary round, finally having to do this in front of people like Mr. Page and the head of corps and all that kind of stuff. But definitely it was a train crash.
Move to the left in threes. Left. Turn. Squad. Squad. Move to the right in threes. Aid bout. Turn.
I felt I'd let everybody down, that I hadn't performed well enough because everyone else had been working hard and I'd been making people work hard. I'd been getting them up in the morning and taking them down to practice on the playground in the evening. And so to sort of mess up because of me rather than because of them, I was angry.
Saluting! Salute to the front!
A lot of the jokes that people had said, or like, if Hobbs says left, we all turn right, and then some people did turn right when he said left, and I'm just going, oh my God. You know, people have joked about this and were saying, oh yeah, we practice, we know it, and then we're finally here, and I just realised, yeah, they're not ready for this.
I f***ed up. It's me and Charlie.
Hugh's like that. He will take responsibility for our mistakes. But all of us blamed ourselves for not doing well, and we didn't blame Hugh, not at all.
There are lots of individual mistakes. And remember, this is a team, that's why there's 12 of you.
I was furious with myself on the basis that I hadn't performed to the standard that I'd expected everyone else to meet, and sort of that's a sign of a bad leader. I felt I'd done a bad job because I hadn't sort of been as good as I'd expected everybody else to be, and if I'm not the example, then why should they listen to me?
Sort of don't know the words of command, just
Westacre's performance has been a shambles, and a personal embarrassment for Hugh, who now has an agonising wait to find out if they got through. It's mid-March. After a disastrous showing in the qualifying round of the Interhouse Drill competition, spirits at Westacre boarding house are low. Especially for the squad's leader, Hugh, who is anxiously waiting for an email telling him whether or not they made it through to the next round.
I was frustrated on the basis that I thought I'd messed up so badly that we weren't going to qualify, and that was it. That was my main thing, because I thought there's no way that we've done well enough. That was below standard. That was far lower than we've ever done it before.
Yeah, we qualified. So that's good. We're going to have to step it up a bit now. We have to fix every problem in a week, or we don't do well.
The fact that we did qualify was a bit of a miracle, really.
By the right, quick march! Oh, this is looking good. Far, you're drifting far.
I'm not really sure how we got through, considering that we didn't really know what to do, how to do it, and that's why we practiced like crazy after the prelim.
So you'll hear it on the left foot, eyes left, one left. Okay? Clear? Saluting, salute to the front. To the left. Squad will retire. Left. Turn.
Could be better, but at least we don't suck anymore.
After a long week of practice, there's now only 24 hours to go until the competition. Housemaster Martin Smith is pleasantly surprised they made it through at all.
I think we had a close escape in the preliminary round. I think we nearly marched off into a ditch at the end of the parade ground, but never mind, we got through all right.
What would you like to see the boys achieve tomorrow?
I think mid-table obscurity would be very acceptable.
Polishing boots is such an effort. I thought it'd take like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it does, with quick polish.
I think I spent a good hour doing one boot, which I think is ridiculous.
How do you think we can do tomorrow? I don't know. If our shoes aren't good enough tomorrow, I'm going to just, like, kill someone.
I think we've improved.
Yeah, we're a lot better than we were in the preliminary.
The prelim was awful, horrific.
Whilst Rory and Giles buff their boots, Hugh has decided to do a spot of ironing for the entire squad.
Matron sort of politely said, no, there's no way I'm going to do all that ironing for you, I'm too busy. So I said, all right, fine, I'll do it.
That's quite exciting.
And I did a bit of asking around, and I asked Joe, do you know how to iron? He said, yeah, sure, I've been ironing for ages, I know how to iron.
Have you both done this before?
Yes.
No, as you can probably see.
I mean, at one point, Joe was ironing and the iron was just unplugged. He was just rubbing the bit of metal against the clothes.
I know, it's rude, I think.
You might want to turn it up a bit.
Thank you.
Is this burning you inside?
Can't bear it. You're doing it all wrong.
Okay, yeah, help me with this. I've never ironed in my life. I just came.
It's great that you sort of decided you were going to help out. Okay, let's see if we can set up the temperature. Where is it? This is
Becky, help us out. It was a bit sort of stranded animals in a nature documentary.
Don't go sideways, go like pointy.
I can't believe it. Now I'm without a sound person because my sound person couldn't take it any longer.
I can't take it.
It's got to be done properly.
This is an interesting moment of reflection and not to notice that I put a load of creases into the arse of this thing.
I proudly told my mum, oh mum, I spent a whole day ironing. She said, good, well you can iron your own shirts now. No.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon. Nearly time for Westacre's drill squad to head down to the parade ground for the final. They have to be there at 5 o'clock on the dot.
Sweating out right now a little bit. Don't worry. Cheers, mate.
But getting 12 teenage boys dressed and ready for inspection is a major challenge.
What are you looking for?
Well, I've lost my trousers. People coming up to me and saying, I haven't got a cat badge, I haven't got a beret, I haven't got a... Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of last minute running around. In terms of kit and stuff, I think.
I lost my trousers. And since Casey is reserve and we have all the people, and so I'm going to use his trousers. Cheers, matey.
Sag. And belts as well. Belts were a nightmare, getting people to put their belts on properly.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay, don't lie.
How do you do it?
Okay, so you have this long green sort of string belt.
Thread it, look at me. What I need you to do is thread it so that the right-hand side is coming from, so the male end is coming from the right.
You have the loops, and they go through the hoops. They come out, and you're gonna have to ask Hugh. I can't remember. It's so hard. I'm just thankful that I have it done, to be honest. It's really quite difficult. So don't say, how hard is it to do a belt? Because it's really hard. That's how hard it is.
And then there was Will Farr.
Please go. I'll catch up with you. I've got Farr to deal with. Farr, come with me. Hurry up. Run.
5 minutes before you're due to be there, Farr walks up to me and says, I've lost my beret. I haven't got a beret. Sort of grabbed him by the arm, pull him up the stairs, get into my room. I've got to somehow have a spare beret and cat badge in there. I do have a cat badge, thank God. Okay. Quick, Farr, we haven't got much. Oh, where are you going? Come with me. Into the washing room. Me just throw it in the sink, get it as wet as possible, wring it out, slap it on his head. Okay, it will shrink because it's going to dry. Okay, follow me. We haven't much time. Moulded it as quickly as possible, then just jogged it, just legged it back down to the parade ground as quick as possible. Nightmare. Nightmare, child.
Boys tend to do things rather at the last minute, one may have noticed. Forward planning is not the strong on the agenda. It's rather how we won the Second World War, really, I think, generally.
I'm here to judge Harrow School's CCF competition, and I'm here for the inspection phase prior to the drill phase. So I'm making sure that they're correctly dressed for a start at the very basic level, that their shoes are polished.
Don't step on the mud!
That they've got their trouser tie-ups in, and just overall that their turnout and bearing is smart, presentable, and as we'd expect from a smart CCF.
Squadron advance! Left turn! In open order, right dress!
When you're speaking to, I don't know who it was, the major, and he's coming around and he's asking you questions, you have to look at his cat badge, and it's really hard not to look in his eyes, because you know that's the natural thing.
What lesson were you in before we came out here?
I didn't have a lesson.
Oh, that's all right. What were you doing?
I was preparing for this.
Yeah, not on the PlayStation?
Yes.
No funny jokes, nothing. You just have to answer, you know,
sincerely.
May I have your permission to carry on, sir, please?
Yeah, please do. Thank you very much. Good luck.
With the inspection over, it's time for Hugh to give West Acres drill squad their marching orders. And the entire house has turned up to lend their support.
Move to the left in threes. Left, turn! By the right. Quick, march!
Because I had that sort of meltdown for the prelims, my main nerves for it were that I hadn't done a good enough job.
Salute!
I think I wanted people to sort of feel proud of themselves at the end, and I thought they won't feel proud of themselves unless we do that well, and that's where I want to be.
Salute to the front! Salute!
I must say, they do look very good from here. I could never do this in 100 years. I'd never get the timing.
Eyes, front!
Been a pleasure. Oh, thank God that's over.
We weren't top. We had sort of scorch marks and berries not being properly moulded, but we came 5th, I think, off the top of my head. We might have been 6th, but we certainly sort of top end, which was good. Pretty proud of that. Yeah, all that ironing paid off.
When they have completed it, looking back on it, they're quite pleased they've done it. Of course, they do enjoy the pizza and wings afterwards, whatever happens. First of all, thank you very much for all the efforts all of you have put in. But I think it's time to recognise a very special effort on behalf of Hugh, who's pulled all this thing together. And it's absolutely not the easiest job to do at all. Where we shall look after your extraordinary efforts, I don't know, Hugh, but thank you very much indeed. It was a tremendous effort. Well done, everybody. It's strict competition for the wings. They know they mustn't eat the last chicken wings because I like them very much.
Life on the hill can be all-encompassing, and the summer term is no exception. As boys prepare for exams, sports competitions, and speech day, the biggest day of the school year. But for some of the boys of West Acre Boarding House, there's a chance to venture off the hill and show the world they're just like everybody else.
Hobnobs. I love hobnobs.
I can't see it.
He's so stupid. I love Garfield.
It's the start of the summer term at West Acre, one of Harrow's 12 boarding houses. But for the 66 boys who live here, it's not all tennis and topping up their tans. This is also exam season. Joe from the lower 6th is revising for his AS levels in maths, Spanish, statistics and economics.
You gotta do sport, do things that you enjoy as well, otherwise you get really, really tense and you can't really concentrate, and ultimately it could lead to bad grades, I guess.
Where are the great unemployed?
For West Acre's housemaster, Martin Smith, part of the challenge at this time of year is making sure the boys strike the right balance between work and play.
There's 3 lots of things you can do. There's work, sporting activities, messing around and wasting time. And it's the 3rd one that just has to go, you know. Now, what did you do this afternoon?
Tennis.
Good. Well done. You went down swimming, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out yet because.
Well, how difficult is that? What did you do?
Cricket, sir.
It was a nice afternoon for it, wasn't it?
I was just thinking, they call this summer.
Right now, yeah, give us a chance. For the majority of boys in the house, they know that public exams are just round the corner. But it would be a mistake to think that, 66 boys could settle down and work from first thing in the morning through the afternoon and into the evening. That's not quite the makeup of the average teenager, I think. Do you think if you could just sit there for another hour, you'd probably do more revision?
The new term brings with it a range of summer sports to keep the boys busy. From cricket on the school's 10 pitches, swimming in their state-of-the-art sports complex, clay pigeon shooting on their very own farm, and Eton Fives, played here since the 1840s. You can even play polo. And if you don't own your own horse, you can always rent one.
The summer term is a little bit different from the other terms in the sense that there are several main sports that run at the same time.
Oh, yeah!
One of the ironies of my housemastering is that I'm extremely fond of cricket, but the current crop are, on the whole, very good at athletics. Athletics is the strongest for Westacre, strongest of the sports for Westacre this term.
Despite having a reputation as a musical house, Westacre boasts some outstanding sporting talent.
Pretty average.
But the brightest star in the Westacre athletic firmament is Joel from the lower 6th.
Joel's always been good. He's always been the star as well. He's really quick.
Yeah, he's seriously fast. Yeah. Faster than anyone I've ever met, I guess.
He is genuinely fast. He's third in the country for 200 meters, ran 20.96 last year, under 17s. It's amazing.
Joel's chance to shine in front of the whole school and bring glory to Westacre will come in the biggest inter-house athletics event of the term, held on the biggest day of the school year. Speech Day. In 6 weeks' time, hundreds of proud parents will descend on the school to watch their sons take part in the ancient tradition known as School Bill, which is followed by speeches and a huge open-air lunch. The festivities culminate round the athletics track, when everyone gathers to watch the final of the inter-house 4x100 metre relay.
Gentlemen, to your marks.
But only the 6 fastest houses can make it through to the Speech Day finals. And competition is intense.
Everything leads up to the relays, I guess. It's a real big thing in the Harrow calendar. So you've got to get your best men and hopefully they're fit. Otherwise, you could fail and not get through to the Speech Day.
Sligo Young.
As always, Speech Day will kick off with School Bill, a unique Harrow custom which features all 820 boys and the headmaster.
Rath. Correct pronunciation? Good.
Today is one of many rehearsals to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Riddle Webster.
The school bill refers to paying the school bill originally. Now, of course, it's effectively a registration, or it's house bill 3 times a day. For a school bill, really for ceremonial occasions now.
Skorobagatko.
They've got to coordinate walking and also saying "here, sir" at the same time, raising their hat with their right hand, which may sound easy, but on the day in front of all their parents, it can be a bit nerve-wracking.
Stanley Street. Louder, please, Stanley Street. Let's try again. Nice, confident "here, sir." Ready? Stanley Street.
Here, sir.
Good.
At Harrow, the arcane traditions and the striving for sporting excellence or academic success are par for the course and can be all-consuming for the boys. As school chaplain, Father James Power is keen that the boys understand there's more to life than just school.
Life on the hill can become very insular, and it's very important that they get some sort of feel for life outside school. It's also very important that they recognise that in most cases they are enormously privileged, which actually gives them great opportunity to make a real difference. And we have had many examples of old Harrovians over the years doing just that. They don't all go off to make vast amounts of money, as is popularly thought to be the case. Lots of them do, but not all of them.
In the parable of the rich man and the poor man, Dives, the rich man, ends up in hell, while Lazarus, the poor man, is in heaven.
This term, all Year 10 boys, or removes as they are known at Harrow, must choose between doing community service or playing soldiers in the CCF.
Quick march! Left, right, left, right.
Get those arms up, Casey. Giles, too far forward. In line with Giles.
West Acreon's KC and his fellow remove Giles have both chosen community service.
Community service is mainly about opening people's minds to what they can do and what they should do.
KC! Hello. Stand in rank, as you've been instructed to. Why aren't you at attention?
The Christian Bible does say that it's good to give to the poor, to help people.
It's his responsibility to be in line, okay? Got it?
So show some love, basically, yeah.
Cadet, about, turn! Good. Do it properly this time, okay? Good. Let's get this right then, okay?
Is it because people desperately want to do community service, or is it because they don't want to do CCF?
It's well into the summer term at Harrow School, and the 66 boys of Westacre boarding house are either revising for their upcoming exams or enjoying the huge range of sports on offer.
Come on, Nick.
The first half of term concludes on speech day, when hundreds of proud parents descend on the school. The festivities culminate with the finals of the inter-house relay races. And with sprint superstar Joel in their team, Westacre are hoping to head off for the half-term holidays on a high. The summer term is also when Year 10, or removes as they're known at Harrow, must choose between enlisting in the combined cadet force or volunteering for community service. Both Giles and KC have plumped for learning to help people, rather than learning to fight them.
It's important at a school like this, where boys are coming on the whole from quite privileged backgrounds, that they are made aware of the community around them.
I think I look quite flash.
It sounds rather cheesy in some respects that to those to whom a lot is given, a lot might be expected.
For their first taste of community service, Casey and Giles don't even have to leave the hill. Along with other volunteers, they're helping out at an old folks' tea party being held on school grounds.
Would anybody care for a sandwich? Take any that look like you would want one.
In order of importance, I would say the main reason why I chose community service is just to give something back to the community. And then I guess the other reasons would be just because I didn't want to do anything else. So like CCF and Army and all that stuff, they were just way too physically taxing. I just didn't want to do them. You know, so I chose community service instead.
Do you put brown sugar in coffee? Or white sugar? I'm going to take a risk.
And while Giles gets stuck in,
this is the life.
Casey tucks in.
Sorry, would you like a cake? One of them, please. Excuse me.
May I have one, please?
Yep.
Casey being in charge of the cakes, I'd be a little bit concerned whether Elderly would actually get any. No, that's most unfair. He would sacrifice his last cake.
Everyone's eating the cakes. I'm eating the cakes.
Probably he felt it his duty to share and to taste and to encourage others to eat them, probably, yeah.
I haven't tried all of them. I would say the ones with cream on them, the cream and jam and scone ones. Those are really good.
When you bit into it, the cream just burst out. It was nice. I like it. It was very nice.
And Casey's not the only one with food on his mind.
Hobnobs. I love hobnobs. I do. I really do. My sister hates them, but she's, you know, there's like a competition between hobnobs and digestives. Yeah, hobnobs for me, definitely. She was a hobnob woman, I was a hobnob man, and yeah, I think that was the kickstarter to our conversation. My sister's all the way digestive. I think it's the oats. It's the oats that she doesn't like. Yeah. And then we progressed. Are you exactly 70?
10 years more.
What? You're 80? Really? Always don't think it's that serious.
Wait, what?
What did you think of Giles? Was he a nice boy?
Oh God, he was lovely. Now, put back the clock, dear, put back the clock. He was lovely, lovely, decent chap.
Are you not allowed to go into Harrow, are you?
No, I'm not allowed, because, I don't know, people in South Harrow don't exactly like Harrow boys very much.
No, it's not very nice of area.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
I'm still hanging around. Can't bear to leave you, dear.
Well, I'm flattered, thank you.
You did a marvellous job.
Thank you.
Okay, fine, thanks ever so much. I'm sorry. That's brilliant.
Can I have a hug?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
God bless.
And you.
Bye-bye.
The boys' first taste of community service seems to have gone down well.
I'm telling you, man, these things are really nice. They're very nice. It's perfect. Perfect.
It's Saturday night. Speech day and the relay finals are just over a month away, and Joel is off playing rugby with the England under-17s.
Right, come on then, let's go. Right, this is beer allowance on Saturday night for the upper six. They can have 4 cans a week. As you can see, some of them have come through, and it's the quickest forming queue of the week, I think, actually.
What do you do on a Saturday evening, Martin?
Oh, party the whole time.
And Martin's not the only party animal in the house.
I can tell you that everything's on you, so everything's on me. The girls gotta see below, but got goblin and a little bloody. If you ain't drinking, you're in the wrong club. Don't feel sexy, you're on the wrong beat. Tired of bottom, young, well-known. It's just balls on the fight, everybody want each. Yeah, so bring the bug, we go. We about to hit the big 3-0. When I start the walk with Rio, let's talk that EVO. Yo, we live, we die, we kid, we try, we kiss, we cry. Also, we can have a good time, yeah.
While Joe parties, best friend Nikita must do the evening rounds.
It's 9:45, you have to be in bed.
Making sure the younger boys are in their rooms.
It wasn't the easiest thing to do. A lot of them got quite cocky. Switch the light off. Get to bed, switch the light off. Okay, do you want to get in bed? I will. I can't see you.
Yo, as long as they ain't getting it wrong, then everything is alright. Well, then y'all have the crew, the Kardashians getting roots up. If you ain't leaving, you know I'm on seat. Then go hide, you know my vibe.
What are you doing?
Yes, I'll bring the verb, please go. We about to hit the big 3-0.
But is there actually something wrong with you? Because then I will tell Smith there's something wrong with you.
Yo, we live, we die, we give, we try, we win, we try. Also, we can have a good time. I'm in the movie looking for the next top model who's wearing something new and something old and something borrowed.
Wait, trim boss, Lee, go to bed. I'll call Mr. Harvey. Yeah, exactly, Dylan, shut up.
Tonight, we're drinking from the...
I thought it was quite funny. You shut up. It's
Shut up!
10 o'clock. Relax. You know, it's pause.
Right outfit.
Follow some other Shell's examples. Right. Good night.
With the younger boys safely tucked up in bed, Nikita, Joe and the rest of the sixth form can finally relax.
Don't throw it if it's empty.
It's pretty much empty.
Throw it in the bin. What are you doing?
But the party is about to be well and truly pooped. Martin has received some bad news from Joel.
Oh
my god. Joel's broken his collarbone.
What?
He scratched his collarbone.
Oh. How did he do that?
In the rugby.
That's really rough.
Oh my god.
We were quite shocked because we were really kind of like looking up for speech day and everything, looking forward to it. We just felt really sorry for him because we know how much he loves to run and to like compete for the house and for the school. All of a sudden, like he's got a broken collarbone.
We were quite shocked because we didn't know what to do.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We always think we're going to win, but we've never experienced something like this. So yeah, we were really worried about that. We didn't think we'd make it through.
They were obviously disappointed. They are very good athletes. Joel has a gift beyond that, I think.
Go get some sleep. We're a long week ahead of us, I expect. Good. Okay, good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Just have to run faster at the relays.
I know. Good night.
Poor Joel.
It's well into the summer term, and Harrow School is gearing up for Speech Day and the final of the Interhouse 4x100 metre relay competition. But if the boys of Westacre Boarding House are going to qualify for the final, they're going to have to do it without their star performer, Joel.
I've broken my collarbone playing rugby. It's broken in 2 places. I've got an operation on Thursday. They're gonna like put a metal plate in it. It's annoying, it's really annoying, but I don't know.
Westacre's chances might be slim, but the team aren't giving up just yet. Justin, from the lower 6th, has bravely volunteered to try and fill the injured Joel's running shoes.
Race is in 15 minutes.
You guys, someone lend me some white socks.
Oh, you don't need white socks.
No, I mean, I want to wear white socks then.
We gotta go, man.
Yeah, I just need to get some socks as well.
I think we lacked a bit of confidence on that day. The competition was really hard this year. We hadn't practiced our changeovers. We're not used to running with a different person other than Joel. We can't really rely on him as much. So, yeah, the confidence wasn't as high as we'd hoped for.
Only 6 of Harrow's 12 houses can go through to the final on Speech Day.
Basically, the first 2 in each heat go to Speech Day and the 2 fast losers. So this is just the qualifying round until the big day. So yeah, we've got to win. We've got to at least qualify.
But without Joel, the Westacre team of Joe, Justin, Nikita and Addy are going to have to excel themselves.
We still took it really seriously and tried a lot harder because, you know, Joel wasn't there, so we had to give everything, but we didn't think we were going to do well.
Only 1st and 2nd place guarantees an appearance in the finals on Speech Day. The last 2 places go to the fastest runners-up.
They knew that there were a couple of houses who had very strong runners as well, and that it would be possibly quite tight.
Gentlemen, your mark. Set.
That's Newlands,
and then Drury's, and then West Acre. They're the first two qualify, and the two fastest in each heat.
What happened just then?
I know, I wasn't fast enough. We came third. Wasn't fast enough, man. Huh? Wasn't fast enough.
Hopefully we'll be like one of the fastest losers, so we'll qualify for the final. And I think if we have Joel running the final, we'll definitely do better than we did today.
You alright? How was it?
I know, if I'd done a little bit faster, maybe.
Dunno.
A little bit faster, I think we definitely would have made it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But no, we need to. I'm gonna go check in a minute.
Having finished in third place, the only way West Acre can qualify is as one of the fastest losers.
Do you know about the 4x1? I know who qualified.
You qualified? You didn't?
No.
You serious?
Yeah, we didn't.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not, actually not. I asked at the thingy.
Did you actually?
Yeah. But ask again, because I'm pretty sure he didn't say West Acre.
I was gutted, and so was everyone else, that we hadn't made it.
What was it? He came 7th.
He said that we were 0.1 seconds slower than the fastest loser, so that was quite gutting.
We're kind of really upset, and then Mr. White just comes from nowhere, really. And he says, oh yeah.
I have got discretion to qualify a 7th team if they wish to. They have to just request through the housemaster. But they have to be keen and committed and want to run. Okay. And they have to be uninjured.
Okay.
And not under doctor's orders, okay?
He said we could go through as long as Joel was fit.
They're quite happy about that, because we were really kind of like looking up for speech there and everything, looking forward to it. I want to get in the final and win.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of pressure on Joel.
A lot of pressure on his collarbone, yeah. A lot of pressure on Joel as well.
Speech day and the relay final are less than 2 weeks away. And it's not just the athletes who are looking forward to it. Today, the younger boys are taking their turn rehearsing for when hundreds of proud parents will invade the hill to see their sons take part in the ancient Harrow tradition known as School Bill.
Montero de Barros. Custos will have words about that hat, I think.
It's a massive open-air registration, when all 820 boys, dressed in their tails, must individually tip their hats to the headmaster.
Yes, sir. Keep walking.
And everything is expected to be perfect.
What's going on with the hat?
It's it broke because of the wind. You know, it's really windy, so just and then like fell, broke. But I hope I don't get costumes for it, because that just would suck. Can you see it? Then what I did was I turned it around, so not facing the headmaster so that I wouldn't see it. Just turn it around and put your hand round that bit of the rim that has been cut off. It's so cheeky.
Massey, Berry.
Yeah, smart. Lost it. I can't believe I did that.
Traditions like School Bill have led to suggestions that the school is harking back to its elitist past, something the school denies.
I think the school is more sensitive to a reputation of, shall we say, privilege, posh, than it used to be. I think generations back it couldn't care less, really. Nevertheless, it is somewhat isolated from the local community. We're in this sort of oasis of well-being, if you like. We must not be unaware of people who are less fortunate around us, who are not very far away.
Good morning, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Today, as part of their community service, Casey and Giles, along with fellow West Acreans Alex and Yuri, are helping out at a local community centre for frail elderly people.
So you're all very welcome. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Now the process of the day, we make teas and coffees and toast for our clients.
The boys' previous experience of community service was a very Harrovian affair. A genteel OAP's tea party on the hill with cream cakes and classical music.
Can I give you a table? At the community centre, I think it was a little bit awkward because their health wasn't good. Whereas at the tea party, people were very happy to engage in things. People at the community centre were a little less energetic.
Come on, the exercise.
Come on. This is fun. But first appearances can be deceptive.
Go on. And then around the other way. Then see it.
Wow, I can't see it here.
You're showing your best attitude. You're showing your best attitude.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
You were getting into the YMCA?
Yes, I was getting into the YMCA, definitely. YMCA? Yeah, I like it.
Very good. I think that's a good exercise, isn't it?
With the ice well and truly broken, Giles can do his thing.
Hello, Joy.
You are Giles? Or
I am Giles. I am Giles. Yes.
I should know with Jeep on, shouldn't I?
Jeep, yeah, Giles. You have to be very friendly, borderline charming. So how are you?
I think you need to pick up the leaves.
Yeah, it's definitely, I guess, eye-opening. Well, this isn't the nicest part of London, and I've never seen this before. I've never seen this life out here. You know, we see how people live here, and it's very different to what life is like on the hill. That's deep. Yeah, very deep.
You allow them to see how the other half live, because most of these boys, they come from rich society.
Hello there.
Thank you. That very little gravy, lovely.
Yeah, mind the plate, it's really hot.
Looking from the outside, you think, oh, they're posh and they won't speak to people. But they're normal guys. It's just like Prince Harry and William, isn't it? They're nice guys, isn't it? And they're ordinary. Yeah.
After a morning's hard graft at the community centre, the ordinary boys are allowed out for lunch, and they've decided to dine al fresco.
On reflection, we probably could have chosen a better place to sit.
And on reflection, one supersized stuffed crust meat feast pizza may have been enough.
You guys are feeble of stomach. Well, they were only able to eat about 3 slices or 4, and then they weren't able to eat any more. See, that's very feeble of stomach. Each of us was supposed to have 6.5 slices. I finished mine pretty well. I think I had a few more because, you know, they didn't finish all 6 of theirs.
I think I'm going to die.
Harrow's gardening department have just taken delivery of 4,000 new plants as they prepare the school for Speech Day, the most important day of the school year.
We try and make an effort where, you know, we're welcoming people for what is their only visit to the school during the year. And we do our best to look our best, I suppose.
The day culminates with the final of the 4x100 metre relay, which Westacre had high hopes of winning, until their star athlete Joel broke his collarbone. Now, team members Joe and Nikita are waiting anxiously for Joel to get back from hospital to find out whether or not he can take part.
We were so bad.
Yeah, we were pretty bad.
We didn't even qualify.
We're obviously hoping that Joel would come back from injury, because if he didn't, we just look really stupid running the same team on Speech Day and coming last or whatever we would have become.
How was it?
They took the plaster off. Looks
Oh!
good.
Nah, my scar's
that's
better.
healed quite nicely. Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
What do they say? Does it look good?
It's good. Yeah.
You can run?
Yeah.
Joel may have been past fit to run, but he hasn't exercised for weeks. It's the night before speech day, and all's quiet at Westacre. Martin is keen to make sure it stays that way.
I think perhaps in the school as a whole, there's been some tradition of speech day pranks. You've got literally hundreds of guests coming, and obviously you want everything to be in apple pie order, and you don't want any prank which is going to spoil the impression or be embarrassing in any way.
Pranks have been known to backfire, and Martin is anxious for everything to go smoothly on what, after 33 years at Harrow, will be his final speech day.
Here we are. We're done.
I'm Tom. This is number 1. And this is Mr. Smith. Okay. 2013. Sweet.
I think it's fantastic. Yes, it's a very big effort on their part. I think this is a goodbye gift. It's very nicely done, very nicely done. Rather they have no sleep doing something like this. Yes, I do think there should be more hair there. You can't see they have any hair at all. It's most unfortunate.
I could just see Mr. Smith everywhere. Just everywhere. I couldn't... everyone but Mr. Smith.
Yes, that was hilarious.
I hope you like the posters. Took me hours to put them up. Anyway, over to Jonas. There were 278 copies, apparently, so I don't know which photocopier they must have absolutely exhausted, but anyway, it was nice.
Okay, guys, can you get the flower and can you queue?
With a buttonhole in Westacre colours from Matron and a last shine of the shoes, it's down to business.
They're off, they're gone, it started.
As the boys head off to congregate in the old schoolyard, it's clear that, as far as pranks are concerned, Martin got off lightly. School Bill is an annual event totally unique to Harrow. For parents, it's a favourite photo opportunity and a chance to revel in the history and tradition that permeates the school.
Adams.
Yes, sir.
Altana.
Yes, sir.
Armstrong.
Yes, sir.
Aronson.
As it gets
Bamford.
underway, it's clear that the weeks of rehearsals have paid off.
Harkness.
Yes, sir.
Harvey.
Yes, sir.
Hawley. Healing.
It takes around 30 minutes for all 820 Harrovians to make their way past the headmaster.
Lee. Yo. Young. Yee. Zwanich.
Yes, sir.
Nailed it, Zwanich. Well done. That's it. Well done. There we are. Took a while. Get then it would.
Once the last hat has been tipped, boys and parents squeeze themselves into the speech room for an address from the headmaster.
Your Royal Highnesses, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. I began by looking at the hill from the outside, from a local vantage point, seeing it as an island of sorts. But there's no doubt that we're part of a much bigger community, a strong local and international family that helps us look outward and always look to enhance and develop the way we approach the task of educating young people. Today's a great opportunity to celebrate our boys' achievements. The sun is shining, which will help. I hope you enjoy a pleasant and uplifting speech day.
Lunch is served in professionally catered marquees on the sports field. As always, Martin dines with the upper sixth.
Yeah, this is serious dessert.
And it's not just their final speech day, it's also his.
I almost didn't come to the tent because I was very disappointed that there were no pictures of me in the tent. But thank you very much indeed for inviting me to this event, and I should be up at the relays fairly shortly. Thank you very much.
The afternoon may not be quite so much fun for the 4x100 metre relay team, who must save themselves for the big race.
They're through on a wild card. By the skin of their teeth, they're in the final. Joel Harvey was injured. Now I gather he's reasonably fit. The other houses are nervous and a bit annoyed Westacre are there at all. So we'll see. It's going to be action-packed. Can't wait.
Victory for Westacre is resting on Joel's recently mended shoulder. But after weeks on the sidelines, can he last the distance?
Gentlemen, to your mark.
We're about to have the senior 4x100. It's a question whether the middle two can just stay evens with the pack, I think. Because if they're evens, Joel can probably hold it at the end, even though he's not run for 3 or 4 weeks.
Set.
I remember hearing my name getting shouted by the shells or the roofs. Can't remember, and yeah, that was really cool.
Joel Harvey on the last leg. He needs to get the back and let us go. Incredible West Coast check with Joel Harvey. Terrific running.
Well done, that's fantastic. Good to see. Yeah. Well done, Nikita. Speedy the old chap yet. Very good.
I was just so happy. It was a really nice way to end the day, and I reckon the year in general, and the 12 years of Mr. Smith with that win as well.
How are you guys going to celebrate?
Don't
know. Let's see what Mr. Smith has.
Yeah.
Probably strawberries and meringue.
Yeah.
The final action of a very long day is a tea party hosted by Martin for Westacre boys and their parents.
You noticed the pictures of my good self. It's a bit like the Nuremberg rally, only it's my face on the pictures.
Where
They're all around the house.
felt sorry for the other houses because we went from like not even qualifying to winning the speech day. I thought that was, I mean, if I was in another house, I'd find that completely unfair. But, yeah.
It's the end of speech day. It's also the end of the half-term. And for Martin, almost the end of his 33 years at Harrow.
It's been a wonderful day. The weather's been nice. We've done very well in the athletics. I've had a lovely lunch, including chocolate tart. And sooner or later, I'm going to have strawberries. I haven't had any yet. So nice one to end on, I think. Doesn't get much better. Yeah.
It's the last few weeks of the summer term. And it's goodbye to the upper sixth and housemaster Martin Smith. But the boys have an awful lot to do before school's out, with exams, competitions.
Wasn't that guitar in tune a minute ago?
Thank you very much.
And the final goodbye to the man who's seen them through their teenage years.
But thank you very much for all this.
Don't do this. Hang on a minute.
Where's the camera?
It's midway through the summer term at Westacre, one of Harrow School's 12 boarding houses. And housemaster Martin Smith,
this is a Harrow box,
is busy packing.
This box seems to contain my birth certificate. I'm not sure why it's in there. Amazing, I was born in 1953. Still, the Second World War was over by then.
This is Martin's last year at Harrow. In just 6 weeks' time, he'll be retiring after more than 3 decades working and living at the school.
No, that's Harrow stuff. I think most members of my family are considerable hoarders, and I'm one of the main culprits, of course. We've come across boxes. They're not actually opened since we last moved 12 years ago. It's a passport photograph from 1993. You see, I've definitely got hair there, haven't I?
I think he is a bit of a hoarder, yes. And I think it's been a mission. He's been doing it for months. He's been packing for months.
Mrs. Smith always said it was a very unwise thing to do. Right, here we go. No, I wouldn't do it a second time, would it?
Martin's been housemaster of Westacre for the past 12 years.
I probably ought to get a chair without wheels on to get up here, didn't I, really? But, yeah.
It's a relentless job that sees him juggle teaching economics in the school.
It's a bit exciting, isn't it?
With being responsible for the 66 boys he shares the house with, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Ooh, many words spring to mind to describe Mr. Smith. I think the first one is fantastic.
He really has a sense of humour about everything, and he really knows what it was like to be 17 or 18.
The house is going to probably miss his overall character and liveliness, and just his presence, really.
This is one of the pictures that needs to be stored up with the old house history here. This is the Westacre House Group in 1928. And in those days, the house, and the housemaster in particular, had a butler. And his name was Bayliss. And whereas all the boys have their initials, poor Bayliss just gets Bayliss. No initials, no anything, not Mr. He's just Bayliss, the butler. I think you have to see your own time at school, even if it's a long time. It's really just a blink of an eye. I mean, we're at a school which is 400 years old and plus, and you have to see it within that context. And matron in those days really got dressed up for the part. I'm not sure Kate would necessarily go for that uniform, but...
Martin has just 6 weeks to dismantle his life at Westacre, leaving behind his home, his colleagues, and the school he's dedicated more than 30 years to.
Ah, yes, the removal of the file from the bookcase is a very good first move, yes. Transparent, isn't it?
All the while, he must ensure Westacre runs as smoothly as ever and guide the boys through the toughest time of their academic year, exam season.
So just go back to the original question. What are you doing in here?
I'm getting help with the revision because I don't know it.
Well, how's he supposed to help you do that?
No, he knows
No,
it.
well, no, I think there's something to be said on that.
He knows it.
The youngest boys, known as shells, face a grueling week of internal assessments called trials.
For the shells, they have importance because that may affect which classes, which divisions they go in for the next 2 years for their GCSE subjects. And so it's quite important they perform to their potential.
What is starch broken down into? Fatty acids.
No! Fat is broken into fatty acids.
Amino acids.
Starch is just sugar and loads of like molecules attached together.
Can we do that again?
But for the oldest boys in the house, the term holds even more significance. Their final A-level exams are only days away. 5 years at Harrow has cost their parents in excess of £150,000 in school fees. So the pressure's on to get the grades they need for their chosen universities.
Got less than 16 hours till my exam. Good luck.
No, I'd be tempted to say that the mood of this term is one of pressure, one of panic.
You've got to scream that upstairs.
With so much riding on their exams, it's vital the boys stay focused.
Hey Smith, so what are you doing right now?
Doing some economics revision.
But in a house of 66 boys, avoiding distraction isn't easy.
Thorn's gonna go into his room, place the camera, hide. He's gonna go back in his room, and Addie will scream like a little girl.
What else do you have on Monday besides C1?
Economics.
Anything can distract me if it's other than work.
We're going amok Knapfler, the boy from Dire Straits. We got the tickets, we got the rickets. Where's gonna go?
Yes, you can put off revision for all sorts of reasons, can't you? And they seem to be good reasons at the time, yeah. It's a bit like me getting down to writing end-of-term reports. I can think of quite a few other things I ought to be doing.
I'm going to play harder. I'm going to play harder.
Right, now we're off.
Making sure the boys concentrate on their revision is just one of a host of chores on Martin's to-do list this term.
No, we're not going to get knocked down. That's good.
With just 4 weeks until retirement, it's the busiest spell of his Harrow career yet.
This is it in the Harrow stint, I think. Yes, I'm hoping it's not it altogether. After all, I think Mr. Chips in one of the films died in his chair, didn't he, in the last week? I'm hoping to miss that.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
While holding down the day job, Martin's also preparing to hand Westacre's reins to a new housemaster, and his teaching responsibilities to a young upstart.
I'm just looking to see who's been appointed to teach economics in my place. Currently, Peter was previous postgraduate assistant at St Edward's, Oxford. So he must be about 22 or 23. That's marginally younger than I am. Yes. That's very good. You're full of energy.
You're still full of energy, aren't you, Martin?
I'm very good at getting on a plane and holidays.
In a school where rivalry between boarding houses means everything, there's one final inter-house competition before the year's out. And it's one that Westacre, with its reputation for musical excellence, is keen to defend.
The Warwick Smith Cup, music prizes, preliminary rounds. It's lived in there quite a long time. We've won it for certainly half a dozen years running. And it would be nice to defend it in my last year, I have to say.
Unusually, the competition doesn't just involve the elite musicians. Anybody who plays an instrument can take part. And in Westacre, that's a lot of boys.
Half the house will be directly involved. And if you go there and you manage to play a note or two, then you do get 1 point. There are more points available for greater competence, but they do like contributing for the house, and particularly if so far they've not managed to do very much on the musical front as such. So it is a very nice competition in that sense.
But with the whole house focusing on their exams, will Westacre be able to secure the trophy for another year?
Hugh.
Yes.
You'll do anything not to revise.
Exactly.
I remember my A-level, one of my A-level papers where we seem not to have been taught the right syllabus, and I spent a lot of time looking at the ceiling. So I know how it feels.
There are 3 weeks to go until the end of the Harrow school year. And at Westacre Boarding House, Housemaster Martin Smith is getting ready to retire after 33 years of service.
Well, this is from my packing. You see, I go around the house, around the bins, collecting all the cardboard boxes, so this will be very useful putting things in.
I said, do you want carbon boxes?
Oh, yes, yes.
I've got several pink ones.
Oh, wonderful. I love the pink ones. They're quite strong.
As well as packing up his life, he also has to make sure his 66 boys get through the toughest time of their year, exam season.
I'm not sure if it's boys typically or Harrowians especially, but they tend to be last-minute merchants, so these last few days before an exam, they're critical to their prospects.
You told me sugar! Maltose! Okay, start again.
Actually, to be honest, maltose is sugar. So
No, you put maltose, you don't get the mark.
After weeks of revision, the exams are underway. The youngest boys, or shells, face a week of gruelling assessments, known as trials.
See you guys, good luck.
They will determine which academic groups they'll be placed in for their GCSEs.
Fun is had by all.
Meanwhile, the upper sixth are in the middle of the most important exams of their school career.
Okay, 45 minutes, standard time, extra timers, 10 extra minutes. I'm gonna start.
Doing well in their final A-levels is critical to winning a place at the universities of their choice. Sixth former Henry is taking exams in politics, English and business studies. He hopes to study philosophy at Exeter University.
I need 3 A's to get to Exeter, and I'm like, if things go like well, then I'll get that, but if they go like wrong, then I won't. That's a really obvious statement.
I sort of planned to go to Cambridge this year, but the hard thing is not getting a place. I still love to look for all the other universities that offered me places, UCL, Bristol, Warwick, etc. But at the same time, I think I would like to give it another stab.
I'm going off to King's College in Cambridge to read English, which I'm obviously really happy about. And also I'll be singing there too.
Depending on my grades, I'm going to go to University of York. Got to make sure I get those marks, get those A's. Or A stars. Doubt it though.
Put pens down, please, and leave quietly.
It has always been the case with any school child that some exams go better than others.
Back in the safety of Westacre, the boys lament a difficult day in the exam room.
I don't want to talk to anyone because they'll all be like, how was it? And it just went so badly.
Oh my God.
The joys of examinations.
I need 80% essentially, well 82% in this
you're gonna
exam
get
to get my A star,
Yeah,
right? If I don't get my A star, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, great, you have. If you got 82%, then I'm the Queen of Sheba, let me just say that.
18
I did
pages,
best.
I wrote 18.
Sometimes they imagine that it's actually gone worse than it has.
You really want to break something.
I know.
You should get upstairs and break something.
I will. Break lots of stuff.
But most of them, there's a painful short period and then they're bouncing back again.
Naughty boys in nasty schools, headmasters breaking all the rules, having fun and playing fools, smashing up the woodwork.
For the shells, their trials are over, and they're being rewarded with a special fun day.
They finished their trials yesterday, And so, although they don't realise it, it is the perfect way for them to let off steam now and just celebrate it's all over. And we're at the last 2 weeks of term, so it's nice. Some of them I haven't seen them laugh for a week.
Sachin has passed his trials with flying colours, and Dylan has also done well, coming top of his division in maths.
I was quite happy with my result. I had a feeling I'd do well, and I thought I'd be in the top 3 or 4 of my division, but I wasn't quite expecting first.
Well, they've changed such a lot since they arrived, but we're a full year on, and a year at this age is a long time. They'll change again next year and again the year after.
And there's another change facing all the boys of Westacre next year. The introduction of a new housemaster, Martin Walker.
Come in. Right, I won't give you Tara's chair, that'll cause a riot. It's her birthday today. She's 11 today. Yeah. She's had an extra eggy. She had little sausage eggies for her birthday. Yes.
Will you be getting a small dog?
No, I don't think so. I have a small cat. Probably wouldn't like a small dog.
The corridors are big for individuals to be corridor monitors, and I found that didn't work very well, so that's how I got rid of that.
I think they're pretty big shoes to fill. Everyone around the school loves him. He's always sort of jovial and positive. It's quite daunting, but I'll probably, you know, do things quite differently from him because I just think you have to be yourself in the role. Help yourself to a bicky if you'd like one. Would you like a glass of water?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
One of the first tasks facing Martin Walker is appointing new house monitors from the current lower sixth, who will help him in his duties next year.
Okay. And would you like to be a monitor?
Oh, I'd love to be a monitor.
Yeah.
He also has to decide which boys should take on the most coveted roles of head and deputy head of house. But choosing between them won't be easy.
Are you interested in being head of house?
Definitely.
Yeah. Just about every member of the lower sixth form wanted to be head of house, and just about every boy wanted to be a monitor. And I think that's just because they're very proud of their house. They care greatly about it. Right, okay, thanks very much. Cheers.
It's vital Martin chooses wisely. If he doesn't pick the right boys, then he risks losing the respect of the rest of the house.
You get the right people in the positions of responsibility so that everyone in that year group thinks, yes, these are the right people to do it. Then that starts to help to create that positive tone and keep the right sort of atmosphere in the house. Okay, any other questions? Or?
I have another biscuit.
Good question. Go for it.
That's one, thank you.
It's the evening of the Interhouse Music Prizes competition. Westacre has won the contest for the past 6 years, thanks to talented music scholars like Henry.
The whole house is going along, and you basically just go down to the music schools and play whatever instrument you have, and whatever you play gets a certain amount of points.
But in recent years, the competition has been getting tougher. And so tonight, Westacre are pulling out all the stops to impress Director of Music, David Woodcock.
We want to keep it in the trophy cabinet, so bit of pressure.
But this competition isn't just for the music stars. Points are awarded not only for quality, but also quantity of performances. A rule that Westacre intends to take full advantage of.
Next. Next. Right, next.
What I've told people in the past to just go down and just, I say, play Mary Has a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle on the piano. I mean, much to Mr. Woodcock's dismay, he has to sit through hours of really.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, that'll do. Right. Wasn't that guitar in tune a minute ago?
Not all of Westacre's performances may have been stellar, but will their tactics pay off?
2 hours from one house. So, yeah, it shows you, how many of them learn musical instruments.
Sorry, Mr. Woodcock.
Thank you for the first year, sir, and for the chocolate cake. It was really nice.
Thanks, sir.
It's the second half of the summer term at Westacre Boarding House. Housemaster Martin Smith has been anxiously awaiting the results of the final inter-house contest of the year, the Music Prizes Cup.
Please find the attached results. Hard copies are in the pigeonhole. So.
Over half the house turned out to compete, desperate to defend the trophy for Martin in his last year. But have they done enough?
It's taken quite a long time for the results officially to come back to me of the music prizes, and I'm pleased to tell you that you have defended it by a very long way, so very well done indeed. And I know one or two boys said, oh, well, that was great for you, wasn't it? So we got something in the last term. I was very pleased for them, is what it came down to.
With the cup safely back where it belongs, it'll soon be time for Martin to hand the trophy cabinet keys to his replacement, Martin Walker.
So I'm about to announce the head of house and the monitors.
It's a big moment.
It is a big moment, yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A bit nervous. I hope I've got the decision right. I hope they all agree. They all like the appointments. Good evening, everybody. All right. I just count you to make sure everyone's here. It's okay. You don't need to stand up. It's all right. At ease.
Yeah, I felt nervous about that announcement because I felt it was a really important one. In some ways, one of my first strategic decisions in the boarding house. And you know, I think it's one of the difficult things because they all want it so much. There were inevitably going to be a few people who were disappointed.
So, the head of house is going to be Barnaby Bartlett. The deputy head of house is going to be Joe Murray.
Their reaction was very positive, I thought. They were all sort of, you know, giving each other hugs and handshakes and all the rest.
That's part of it. Yes. Yes, my boy.
It was a really nice moment. It seems, you know, sort of really positive, and I was sort of thinking, I'm quite looking forward to getting in and to September.
My great-grandfather, the 4th Duke of Norfolk.
The summer term is a significant time for all the boys. As the lower 6th take over the leadership of the house, the first years, or shells, are about to have their names etched permanently into the school's 400-year history.
The tradition at Harrow is that you have your name carved. Well, it used to be on the walls of the original 4th form room, then it was on the backs of the chairs and notice boards in the school, and then it came to the houses. And you could look back over my years and go back way, way back into the history of Westacre.
Once their name goes up on the board, it, you know, associates them with the house as such, and it's there forever, really.
I suppose it's marking the beginning of the mark of their transition from new boys as shells to the remove year. That's something, of course, they'll look forward to because they won't be at the bottom of the pole anymore. They'll be the all-knowing removes. And when you're that age, you know everything, of course.
Solid.
The shells are now fully fledged Harrovians. But a whole new batch of boys are about to be initiated into the unique world of Harrow.
You can't stay as one group together today, all right? You've got to meet the others, get to know them. Make sure you split these 3 up when they're playing football.
Today is the new boys' tea party. A chance for next year's shells to get a glimpse of what their life at Westacre might be like, and to meet their new housemaster.
Yeah, it was my week science, and I got an A-star.
Oh, did you?
Wow.
Oh, fantastic,
Yeah.
well done. Oh, well, there you are.
Yeah, please.
I was, you know, a mixture of sort of nervous and excited. I suppose much like the new boys themselves, you know, thinking, you know, what lies ahead, how am I going to get along with everyone, what's life going to be like.
Hello. Hi. Good to see you. Welcome.
Most new boys will have booked their slot at Harrow a couple of years ago. But 13-year-old Michael, fresh from a state school in Derby, has only recently been awarded a place at the school. After thrilling Harrow's director of music with his talent for the trombone, Michael has won a scholarship and a clutch of other awards that have made it possible for him to come to the school.
I never thought when I first saw that instrument and go, it's got a movable bit to it, and thinking I want to play that 7 years later I'm here, and because of it I'm actually at this school. It is. No, you never think of that happening from just picking up an instrument. It's changed my life.
Today is Michael's first chance to meet the boys he'll be spending the next 5 years with. And watching on, the Shells, who were in his shoes a year ago.
Watching the new boys has just actually reminded me of my new boys too, really. I felt quite nervous, quite weird, quite unfamiliar in the surroundings. And we sort of tried to talk to each other, but it was obviously a bit weird.
Lost for words, really. It's going to be a change, but I think I'll be able to get used to it.
And there's a lot for the current Shells to get used to next year as well.
The New Boys 2 was really the start of the new Acre, because it was the first time we've actually been around Mr. Walker.
You don't mind a bit of a hard word, Dylan, do you?
I'd say I don't like hard work, it's not understatement for me.
And also, it was quite different because when we're usually in the housemaster's private side, we're with Mr. Smith, but this time we were with Mr. Walker.
You're just like, dude, what are you doing in this guy's house? It's Mr. Smith's house. So that was quite weird.
It's the last week of term, and Martin is bidding farewell to all that he loves most about Harrow.
Gosh, that's a hit and a half. That boy's hitting it all around the park. I've always enjoyed the game because I played a lot of cricket myself when I was considerably younger than I am now. And it's always been my favourite game. It was my favourite game at school, and I suppose that is the point, that you like something at school, you do something that you like at school, and you carry it forward. And now I'm afraid I'm just a spectator, but there we are.
Martin has come down to check on the progress of the Shells, who today are playing against Eton.
Sachin, were you in very long? Or before? Oh, I was going to say you were hitting right. The other chap at the other end was smashing it too. That's a huge score. That's a huge score, isn't it?
He's also come to sample another of his great loves.
Good afternoon. Oh, one of these wonderful cricket tees. I'm very fond of cricket tees nowadays, probably more fond than I should actually be. But we're very lucky because we've had 2 new pavilions built on the field grounds, the cricket grounds, and the tea facilities seem to have improved beyond all measure. Egg sandwich is my favourite, followed by chocolate cake. Oh, what shall I choose? They're only small. You see, we came down, we saw a little bit of cricket, and it was time for tea. Remarkable.
He may be leaving Harrow, but Martin has no intention of giving up every aspect of his school life. He's bought a small house on the hill that overlooks the cricket pitches.
When we're in Harrow in the summer term, I should be able to look at the cricket. And I think as an old beak, meaning of course former beak rather than ancient beak, that I'm probably entitled to a cup of tea after all those years. Possibly a chocolate brownie too.
Yeah, we've got 2 bats, guys, and that will hopefully contain the names of all of the house. Now...
Back at the house, Westacre's matron, Kate Bain, is preparing a leavers present for Martin.
Immediately, whenever I was asking the boys, what do you think we should get Mr. Smith from all of you? What sort of present would you like to get him? It was immediate. They said something to do with cricket bats. So we went with it. We found some vintage ones. I don't think Martin has much of an idea at all. So everything will be a surprise. The boys loved the idea because you could tell by how excited they were about signing them all. They knew it was the right present, it was the right gift to get. And that's always lovely, whenever you know you've got something right.
Very, yes, I know. Life continues at such a pace that you think it's always going to stay that way. You know, we're in such a busy routine, such a busy life. It's unrelenting. And then suddenly the end of term comes and it's all over. But this is a bit more significant, isn't it, obviously, because the year's ending, the boys are going, and Martin's going. It's all very different. I hate saying goodbye to people.
Are they going to miss him? Very much so. Everybody is. Everybody's going to miss him.
What will you miss most about him?
I wasn't... Yeah. Don't do this. Hang on a minute.
We are going to miss you. We will miss you, but we won't be here, so we won't be missing you as a housemaster, we'll be missing you as a person. As a person, exactly. How good, that was a good phrase.
That was a good phrase.
We're going to miss...
It's the last few days of the summer term at Harrow. For the upper sixth of Westacre boarding house, their 5 years at the school are nearly over.
Height order, you know the deal, height order.
Today, housemaster Martin Smith is organising his last house photograph.
Almost look respectable like that. Within a few years, there's not a boy in Westacre who will know who I am. Actually, because they've moved on, and that's probably the way it should be. So it'll be old boys' dinners. Sometimes known as Zimmer dinners, I'm told.
Okay, everyone looking. On 3. 1, 2, and 3.
The unspoken deal is that you behave nicely and so forth in the formal photograph. So that's the sort of one that we can send to Mummy and Daddy or Granny. And you have a little bit more leeway in the informal one.
We take stupidity very seriously at this school.
What's the plan with the box?
Not much, I'm just going to sit in it.
Literally, I've always come up with some random stuff. I dressed as a terrorist last year.
There's a hat, a charger. What's the theme?
Elitism? Thorne, I mean, for goodness sake, was dressed like Kate Upton, but you wouldn't have thought it. Like, you would have thought he was just dressing up as, like, someone from the production of Priscilla.
I wish you could dress like that all the time. I wish you could as well. Yeah, society won't let us. Never mind. Yeah.
Can you make sure you're standing behind somebody if you're only in your underwear? 1, 2, and 3. Good.
You'll be feeling more embarrassed when you start acting, the reviews you get. Anyone who says they're not going to miss this place is still deluded. And it'll hit home at some point.
Back in his room, Henry is busy with another Harrow custom that dates back to the 1800s, the writing of leavers cards.
Exclamation mark, don't pull them out that often so it means something. Yours, which is emotionally like invigorated, yours Henry, there we go. The leavers is definitely one of the best traditions by far. It's a really heartwarming way of saying to someone yeah, like I know you, like I know, like you've been a part of like my experience here.
So I shall write to Henry.
This year, as a leaver himself, Martin has decided to join the boys in the tradition.
Especially. These are some of the 278 images of myself, which the upper sixth managed to produce on the evening before speech day. And so it seemed a pity to just throw them out. So as I'm for the first time, of course, a leaver alongside the upper six, I was going to use it as rather an enlarged lever, and I'm then going to add a little sticker which is my contact details after July the 15th.
Are they ready for the big wide world, do you think?
Some are more ready than others for the big wide world, I think. The question then is the big wide world ready for them, I think?
It's the last day of the school year, and for Martin, the last time he'll be waking up his 66 boys.
Yes, still standing.
One more time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Right, here we go. See, Kate's in very good form. She's sprinting up the stairs.
He's always such a cheery person, first thing in the morning, when he goes, you know, whenever we set off to wake them up.
Morning, Dang. Morning. Morning, Cheryl. Morning.
He's dead on the bell, and there's always a smile on his face.
Another happy day.
So, yeah. And it's a nice way to start the day. It is.
Mr. Smith will be very pleased. Extra boxes for packing. Very good.
We'll be sorely missed, definitely. He's always been a very, very good guy. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad to see him go.
It's the wonderful noises, I think. I like the noises. Every now and then he just go, It's all part of the sort of the wonderful eccentric character that he is.
I mean, do you feel emotional about leaving Harrow after all this time?
I don't really know. It's time to go. Oh, somebody got a pink donut. Who managed that? Oh, you got a donut. Well, I missed out there, didn't I? I shall, on the other hand, clearly miss the company of the boys, and I shall miss the company of colleagues, because that's, to me, that's what makes the place special. And I'm aware that I'll miss that somewhat. Yeah, you're the one with the pink donut. Mind you, if I get desperately hungry, well, I'm planning on keeping one suit so that I can put it on and shuffle up to the Shepherd Churchill, my favourite place in the whole school, and see if I can bake lunch. I copied in the bursar as well. Yes. The boys must have been plotting that. I don't know who to blame for that. Bunch of plotters.
Back at Westacre, Kate is busy wrapping Martin's gifts. 2 vintage cricket bats signed by the entire house.
Everybody began to realise that, you know, tonight it's time for celebrating now. School is over. They've finished their lessons. They're now truly into preparing for the end of term. It's, yeah, sense that it's all over. Where did I put the thing? Ah, here we are.
While Kate puts the finishing touches to Martin's present, the upper 6th get their glad rags on and prepare themselves for an emotional evening.
It's a bit of an odd thing, like sometimes it feels like it's not actually happening, like I'm just sort of leaving for the summer and coming back again, but I'm not. I'm leaving for good.
It'll probably be the end. I'll be like saying goodbye to everyone. I'll probably cry.
The evening begins in speech room, and it's packed, not only with the boys and their beaks, but also the leavers' parents.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this leavers ceremony. And how right it is that we should focus on our leavers tonight, because for them, this is a poignant event. 33 years ago, Mr. Martin Smith was gearing up to start a new job at Harrow. Since then, he has proved himself to be an excellent all-round schoolmaster, and for the last 12 years, a superb housemaster of Westacre. Avuncular and wise and unflappable, he is someone with unerring judgment. He knows what to do, what to say, and at just the right time. Now, for leaving boys, this is, I expect, a bittersweet evening. You cannot leave a place like this where you have spent formative years of your life without some sadness. If in your careers you have the determination to build strong relationships and sustain them, to serve others as well as lead them, then you will make a difference and make your impact on the world.
Oh wait, who's that? That's Henry Smith. Thank you. Oh, there's a little bit of insult in there, but you'll like it. Daniel, my dear, enjoy.
As leavers, they become members of an exclusive network of thousands of old boys that spans the globe.
Dr. Roberts. Cheers.
Yeah, it's a damn good start in life. Being an old Harrovian, I'm going to have all this wonderful access to a network of Harrovians, and hopefully that will help a lot getting jobs.
Mate, you've got a bit of reading.
Am I ready for the memoir?
You've got a bit of reading, so you've got twat. You've got twat. You can cry if you want.
No, I will cry.
Cry for me.
So sadistic.
You join like a sort of like a band of brothers almost. And it just defines everyone's life. There's no way that it couldn't.
Thank you.
With the ceremonies over, the boys file back to Westacre for the traditional house songs. A final goodbye to the friends they've spent the last 5 years with. And to the man who's seen them through their teenage years.
It's easy to forget that so we got another leaver amongst us, our esteemed housemaster Martin Smith. And I think we can speak on behalf of all the boys in saying that you'll be sorely missed. And words really cannot express our gratitude in all that you've done for us.
He's done an absolutely sterling job. The difference he's made in boys' lives.
Oh, good gracious. Wow, thank you very much. Oh, that's very kind, thank you. This is a very curious thing.
And we hope we give him a good send-off, really.
But thank you very much for all this. I have enjoyed this evening immensely. It was perhaps not an easy evening to approach in many respects, but I have enjoyed it immensely, and that's thanks to your warmth.
It's a moment in time, and it's caught, and we've lived it, and it's been brilliant. And we do it with every year, and it doesn't get any easier.
Quite weird knowing that I'm never coming back here again after tonight, but haven't quite welled up yet, but I'm certainly feeling that I'm going to soon.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Oh, I couldn't have had anything nicer. That's really good. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
End of my time at Harrow. It's a pretty sad time for all of us. It's sad to see Mr. Smith go. There's a lot of emotions floating around the air and saying goodbye to everyone, and it's all a bit sad.
But you've survived it, eh? You've survived it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've done the best that I can to make it as comfortable an atmosphere, as pleasant an atmosphere as I can for the boys, because I do feel that if they're happy as they can be within the teenage angst years, then they will be more purposeful, they will achieve more, and it gives them a base, an anchor, if you like, through the squalls inevitably that they'll come across in their teenage years. Yes, I think lights off, evening finished, and there's very clever light which still shines so that you don't walk into that pillar, which is very hard. It looks as if it's wood, but I don't think it is, I think it's metal.
So have you done okay?
We've done the best we can. This one goes here.